Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
On the next round, final segment during the summer, all summer long, is the Floribama Lounge, brought to you by the great folks at the Floribama, Uncle Steve and the folks down there.
Yeah, our friends at the Floribama want to remind you, Bulls on the Beach. Emily Grace, I don't think you've ever been to the Floribama, have you?
No, I haven't. Missing out.
But yes, Bulls on the Beach. Get your tickets early. Bulls on the Beach, one of Floribama's most anticipated events of the year. Bring the family out to experience the ultimate adrenaline rush. 3 nights of live rodeo action featuring professional bull riders from all over the country. Portion of the proceeds from this event will go to the St. Jude Hospital, Children's Research Hospital. It's September 5th through the 7th. They're already more than halfway sold out. They're going to sell out. They do it every year. Tickets are on sale now. Go to floribama.com.
Yeah, great place. You put it on you and Mikey's to-do list at some point coming up. Great weather down there when we go down for Army, Navy. It ends up being really good weather for that as well. Always a good time to sneak around 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Speaking of the Floribama, Rockstar is in the lounge again today. You got a Jimmy Buffett show anytime in the near future lined up?
Sunday, September 2nd, I think it is.
That's Labor Day weekend?
Yeah, Labor Day weekend. It's Sunday that night. We're at Lake Martin Amphitheater.
Lake Martin Amphitheater.
Yeah.
Very popular
Doing the
location.
old Buffett show in the heat.
In the
a black jacket. We did Fleetwood Mac here last year. It was a hot one. It was fun.
I missed the Floribama Lounge when you announced your second child on the way.
Yeah.
I was out sick for that one. And last week you didn't announce anything big. You had a big announcement today. Anything changing in your life? Decided a color for the nursery yet?
No, I think we got a big appointment on Monday.
Have you decided yet? You finding out or not?
We're probably going to find out. But we're going to do like a tame gender reveal, something with cord, not like something like I'm not going to fly a plane and pink dust or blue dust comes out of it. I'm not doing anything like that. We're going to try something like that where we involve him.
Sweet.
Because he's been saying Big Brother all. He has no idea what it means, but he's been saying Big Brother nonstop. He might like the show, or the government's watching us.
Yeah, he's going to be a Big Brother is what he's saying.
Yeah, I know, but he doesn't know. He just a Big Brother.
Yeah.
Big Brother.
Yeah, he's going to be a big brother. Rockstar in the Floribama Lounge. What are you singing today, man, to get us going for the weekend?
I don't. I just came to this. I don't know why. Let's do a little Allman Brothers. Melissa.
You never know what we're up to here at the next round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the next round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live show now on our Tuesday. LT back from a trip. We'll talk about that in just a second. Seems like a bucket list item to do. Though I'm not a big fan of the band, I would do that just in a heartbeat. Thursday's kickoff party's coming up. Just finding out that the guys from the Barn, Auburn.com and CoverCrimson.com are going to be there at Walk-Ons Thursday night as well. So our expanded family will all get to hang out and get to see Kyle and Zach and Mick and Clint and the rest of the gang that'll be there. Stadium Trace, 5 o'clock on Thursday night. You're all welcome to come hang out with us. We'll do the kickoff party coming up Thursday night. Our friends at Bud Light, Walk-On Stadium Trace. It'll be a good time, as it always is, for our 4th annual kickoff party. Looking forward to talking some college football with Steve Shaw, the national coordinator of officials. He's in our next segment. Clay Travis later on. EG in Tuscaloosa on her camp tour coming up a little later on in the back half of the second hour. Let's start with just welcome back, man. Special weekend. You and your son on the road, and you got to see one of your favorite bands, or one of his anyway.
Yeah, well, so I've seen Metallica a few times, and he's always wanted to see Metallica. I mean, for years and years and years, and he's always talked about it. And so it's so weird. We were supposed to go to Boston last week, and you guys knew about this trip, and Leighton was going to go, and so it was going to be a whole family thing, and she wanted to see Plymouth Rock and all this stuff.
Badly overrated Plymouth Rock.
And because, yeah, I've heard that. And because she is moving right now, in the midst of moving for the first time, a big move, she just said she was overwhelmed. So anyway, she tapped out on the trip, so we had to kind of do an audible, and we decided to get up at 4 a.m. Sunday morning and fly to Chicago. Flight was at 5:30.
I thought you were going to go Saturday. You told me
we were going to go Saturday. Sly Dog came in Saturday. That's a whole nother story.
Sly Dog.
Yeah, it's been an exhausting weekend.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
But, okay, so going back last Thursday, I met our friend Jeff Green from Chicken Cock. He lives in Chicago. So we meet at the bar downtown, 5 o'clock Thursday afternoon. Him and I are chatting.
We're talking about
in Birmingham. Yeah.
So he's from Chicago. He's in Birmingham.
Yeah, and we're talking about different promotions we're putting together for this fall. And for whatever reason, Metallica came up, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to be there Sunday. And I'm like, we're going to be there Sunday. So it was really weird in that regard. And it really, I hadn't gotten tickets yet, but it solidified it when we started talking. I was like, there's only a couple of bands. Like, I used to go to a ton of concerts. I just don't want my son, you just never know when Metallica is going to shut it down. It doesn't seem, and Rockstar knows this, it doesn't seem like they're ever going to shut it down.
And that is their life. That's all they've known since
and they don't mail it in either.
Oh,
they're
my
really
God.
good.
Like,
Here you see Jack and LT at Soldier Field.
I will tell you guys about the production. I've never seen production at this level for a concert.
Right.
And I went to
Including Taylor Swift.
Including Taylor Swift. So anyway, talking to Jeff from Chicken Cock, and he brings up that Aerosmith is retired. And I was like, that's one of the bands I always wanted to see. And he said, they just retired last week. That slipped by me. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, we talked about it Friday.
Yeah, I think it was the day you were out.
Yeah. It was the day I was with Mick and EG. We brought it up.
That was Monday.
Okay, Monday, yeah.
It all runs together.
Yeah, I think it broke right after the show. Steven Tyler has lost his voice, which they'd been on hiatus, right? And they finally just said it's a permanent hiatus.
They did a couple shows last year, and then they were going to extend the farewell tour, and then he just said, I can't keep my voice up. I just can't do it. It's too hard.
I respect that. I mean, I respect that they're not just going to go collect
a lot of guys,
check.
they'll mail it in and just take the paycheck. But when I heard that, I was like, we got to go, because I just don't want it to be a situation where, Metallica's been on the outs before, and you just never know when a band's going to shut it down. So we got up. I really didn't want to get up that early. We got to Chicago. We got lucky. The room was ready for us to check into at 8 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
So him and I
that
go.
Never happens.
What a win.
We go straight to sleep. Straight to sleep on Michigan Avenue. And then about an hour later, we get up. We go do the architect tour.
Love that. The boat?
You do it every time, don't you?
So
do it every
good.
time.
Yeah.
So we did an hour and a half. He loved it. Right when we got off, he wanted Chicago-style pizza. And my opinion, I know you guys differ.
Gino's East.
Lou
Deep
Malnati's. Yeah.
Yep. Deep dish,
He's
okay.
never had it. So we go. It's an hour wait already for lunch at Lou Malnati's. And so we get on the list, but I'm like, let's try to angle for the bar. There's only 10 seats at the bar. I was telling Taylor this a minute ago. There's 3 on the bottom of the L, and then 7 this way.
Oh, I love the bottom of the L.
We sit down on the corner. 2 guys sit next to us. Bar's completely packed. We start talking. They're both Birmingham guys.
Are you kidding me? They're
Listen
from
to the
Birmingham?
show. Yeah, Birmingham guys listen to the show.
This was an ordained trip.
Wait a minute. So Lou Malnati's in downtown Chicago, you just run
It's
into...
about to get better.
Okay, 2 guys from
2
Birmingham
guys
that are actually
who know
members of
our
the
next
audience.
guest. Brought our next guest up, by the way.
This is bizarre.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
So we're talking about everything. They're big Alabama fans. Talking about Alabama football. Talking about the Hoover situation, because this guy, 2 of his kids played for Josh Niblett. So we're talking about that situation. Then I hear, hey, you from Birmingham? I look across, can't make this up. 2 more guys sat down and said, hey, we listened to the show.
Yeah.
In Lou Malnati's,
So-
we could have done a live show in Lou Malnati's and actually had fans.
I can't make this up. There is 10 seats at the bar. 5 were Birmingham people on a Monday.
Are
at
they
lunch.
all up for the Metallica show?
The two guys that sat down originally, the other two were not.
That is bizarre.
Yeah, it was really weird.
So now Little T got a message from someone that said, it was a DM at Next Round that said, just saw someone in O'Hare Airport in a Next Round sweatshirt. And she's like, it was probably Lance because he's there. And I was like, well, if he's a member of the audience, I think he'd recognize Lance.
Yeah.
Were you wearing an Next Round sweatshirt yesterday?
not.
So it must be one of the other people in O'Hare. And he's like, I was going to go up and
It was
speak to him.
crazy. We boarded the plane Sunday morning. I saw an old buddy of mine, Jay Stewart. And he was jokingly, he was like, you guys heading to Metallica? And I'm like, yeah, are you? And he's like, no. But when we got there, it was like a Metallica concert on the streets of Chicago. I no lie saw no less than 100 T-shirts just walking around that day. So we did the Architect Tour. We went to the Sears Tower, which is such a ripoff, by the way.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah,
it was. How much
they've got the it's called Willis Tower now. I think
Willis
right?
Tower,
It used to be Sears Tower, and they've got
the Chicagoans say Willis Tower pronounced Sears Tower.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So they've got the clear walkout now. It's like plexiglass you walk out on. Some people do. I did not.
I did not either.
Yeah, I tried. I was finally, my fear was over on that. I was going to go out on the ledge. The line was so backed up to get pictures on the ledge. We didn't do it. Do you guys, I didn't remember this because I hadn't been to Sears Tower in like 10 years. Do you know what the price point for one person is?
It's been a good while since I've been there, maybe a decade. I cannot remember what we paid.
I think it was $19.99.
Yeah, I want to say it was like $40-ish.
General admission was $47.50 each. We were up there for 10 minutes top. So $95, 10 minutes. Now, it's cool that he got to say that he's been to Sears Tower.
Nice view and all. But,
and the first little nook that we got in to look out, it had the little placard that said, this is where Sloan, Cameron, and Ferris looked out. So he loved that.
He loved that, yeah.
So then we got to the concert. Five Finger Death Punch opened up. Those guys,
they were in Birmingham,
are like some of the most intense dudes ever. I mean, the guy is so committed. He's got a tattooed mohawk on his head.
Yeah.
But then Metallica came out, and it was just an incredible show. I'd never been to Soldier Field. I've been to both the White Sox Park, whatever it's called now.
Guaranteed Rate.
That's it. And Wrigley a few times, but I had never been to Soldier. Soldier is, even with the renovations, old, antiquated, all that kind of stuff.
I was going to ask you what the stadium was like.
It was old.
Because they dropped a new stadium inside an old stadium, if you've ever been there. They've still got the columns up that you remember as a kid.
They've still got that infrastructure.
It's weird looking.
They cosmetically did some uplift on it, but it is still...
It looks like a spaceship landed inside the old stadium is what it looks like.
I bet outside of Lambeau, it looks like the oldest stadium in all of football.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they're talking about the new one.
But it was, it had good space to it.
Yeah.
And, it was really cool being on the field because we did the down low with all the crazies. And I don't know, man, it was just a beautiful night. We got to Chicago, it was 67 degrees. That night for the concert, 70.
How nice.
So the weather was perfect. The crowd was amazing. And
did you get into a mosh pit?
No, he asked me. Jack was like, are we doing a mosh? And I was like, no. Your old man.
Are we doing a mosh pit?
Your old man did that in 91.
Yeah.
Way outdated.
Would you have let him do it? Would you let him do it?
I wouldn't have been comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a helicopter dad when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. Well, he's a big boy. I mean, he held his own.
I know.
He's been throwing some death punches himself.
But, man, it was just such a good time, and they haven't lost a step.
I was about to ask that. So as good as they've always been.
Yeah, so the way they did it, so the North American, they just came back from Spain, and so they're only doing, I think, 4 North American dates. They did Boston, Chicago, Minneapolis next weekend, and then Seattle in a couple of weeks. But they're doing a Friday, Sunday, so you can buy 2 tickets. And so they do a 15 set list on Friday and then a 15 on Sunday. So I went ahead and peeked and looked at what they did on Friday. And he was kind of bummed out because no Creeping Death, no Master of Puppets. I mean, there were some things
they
that
do
he
Unforgiven
wanted to see.
and
They
Enter
did
Sandman?
Unforgiven. They did Enter Sandman to end it. The best was From Whom the Bell Tolls. I sent that out. It was just an incredible show, though.
Yeah,
incredible show. And every age you can imagine, because there were a lot of dudes like me that grew up on Metallica that brought their kids. And so it was a fun scene, man.
And Rockstar, you always tell me that every mic's got to sound perfect. The sound guy, I mean, they are
it's a business.
Precision.
It is. This isn't a band anymore. It is a corporation.
It is a corporation.
And Kurt Hammock, I mean, he is like a perfectionist, isn't he?
Well, more so James Hetfield.
James Hetfield is more than Hammock.
But they have these 4 pillars, and Scott, if you pull it back up, where you can see the kind of the video overhead, and it probably looks like just one graphic, but the way they do it, and I know there's other artists that do this, but Metallica basically has custom videos for every song they do. And, it's all, it's really driven by lyrics. So it's almost like a mini movie for every single song that they come out and perform. And I can't tell you how many different guitars James Hetfield went through. And they did a shout out to a local band. Oh, help me out.
Cheap Trick.
Nope.
Cheap Trick.
It was not Sunday in the Park either, Chicago. It was one word, like ministry maybe?
Yeah.
So
they did like doodles or something like that.
Yeah, they did something for ministry, and just a great show, man.
Yeah.
I mean, well worth. I mean, those ticket prices when you get an iconic band, they're going to be a little up there.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I
But
think
cheaper than going to a big sporting event, though. Still.
Oh
right?
yeah, I mean, like I think our tickets were like $180, but then with the fees and everything, it was like $518 for 2 tickets. But
yeah,
I mean, well worth the 3.5 hours we were there.
Yeah, I mean, if Alabama or Auburn's blessed to be in the first round hosting a game in December in Tuscaloosa or Auburn, you'll pay more than that to go watch that college football game.
Yeah, my beer would tip though, and this is just 16-ounce beer, $17.50 for every day. They get you on that.
They are not shy there.
That's
are they?
everywhere. I bought lunch for 3 yesterday for $66.
But if anybody's got a day off and got an opportunity to do it, Minneapolis next weekend, you will not be
Are
disappointed.
they doing it in the Viking Stadium?
Yeah.
In US Bank Stadium?
Yeah.
Ooh, what a venue.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
No,
there's
it's-
actually, I mean, I checked, the tickets aren't bad right now, and you can actually navigate some decent flights. So, because we did look at Minneapolis.
Looks like Lance is thinking about a
No.
double dip.
Go see the other half.
I don't know how people travel. We did 2 of the shortest flights yesterday morning. We got up our flight was at 9:33. It took an hour and 15 to get to O'Hare in Monday morning traffic. But we flew out Delta, no problem, went straight to Atlanta, an hour-and-a-half flight, had a 2-hour plus layover in Atlanta, 20-minute flight back to Birmingham, and I was exhausted after those 2.
Flying gets me too, man.
Oh, it's I don't know how people do it for a living.
I don't know what it is. Those are the times when I envy little T, like when we drove out to Dallas, but when we flew back from the Final Four, she's able to get in what looks to be the most uncomfortable position and sleep like a baby.
Yeah, I think traveling's for younger people.
It is.
Like
It's a young man's game.
No, but like seeing the older guy in first class that's got the briefcase and he's heading to some kind of work meeting or whatever across the country, and knowing those guys are grinding into their 50s and 60s. I just don't know how they do it every day. God bless them.
Well, I got a friend that's in Vegas this morning, and she answered something on social media at it had to be 5 a.m. Vegas time, and I was like, "Are you coming in right now?" No, I had to be up at the expo at 5:30 in the morning. I said, "In Las Vegas?" And she said, "Yeah, that's it."
See, I could have done it back in the day, but after the concert, guess where we went? To the room.
Yeah.
And I was in bed at 11 o'clock. To get up. I mean, I just, I don't know, man. Yeah. It's just traveling and going out. I don't know how people do the Las Vegas conventions.
Vegas seems like a crappy town to work in.
Yeah.
Like you
never know when it's daylight.
You do Vegas at night, and then you're doing an expo all day long. You sleep 2.5 hours. We'll jump into your sports headlines. Steve Shaw, the national coordinator of officials, joined us, and apparently friends of Metallica fans in Chicago, joins us in the next segment to talk everything about the upcoming college football season, rule changes, some questions that you may have. Please jump into the chat room, mybookie.ag chat room, and let us know if you have any officiating questions you'd like us to ask Steve Shaw. We do this annually with Steve and love the opportunity to talk with us. He'll join us via Zoom coming up in the next segment. We've sent him the Zoom link, and he'll join us in the next segment here. Our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA, with over 35 urologists on hand, 16 locations across Alabama, treating all your urological needs from prostate health to kidney stones. They'll take care of you. Visit urologycentersalabama.com to schedule that appointment or call that number, 930-0920, 930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com, urologycentersalabama.com. We will jump into college football and all that throughout the show. But I did want to first talk a little NFL action because we missed a little NFL conversation with you yesterday after the big weekend that we had. And there's some breakout stars that you guys know in college athletics that really jumped onto the scene in this upcoming this NFL opening weekend of major exhibition play. One of them was for the Los Angeles Rams, who is known for sort of stealing talent late in the draft. They raved and have raved early in camp about Jordan Whittington, and he had a pretty good first preseason game.
He did. Look, Stetson Bennett was awful. But
at least he's back on the field.
I know. And look, I mean, where he was mentally, you hear the stories behind the scenes and stuff. I'm really happy for him. I don't think a fifth called back interception will help where he is right now.
Probably not.
But to have that last drive, and it got helped out by a penalty, and I don't know how much you guys got to watch, if any, But we had the Rams plus 4.5, and they're down 6, and to score right there with no time left. But yes, he was a guy that Chip told me. Everybody's talking about Xavier Worthy, everybody's talking about A.D. Mitchell, but nobody's talking about this kid. He's battling right now for the 5th receiver spot with Tutu Atwell. He looked really good. Tyler Davis, a 6th-round guy, defensive tackle out of Clemson, looked really good for the Rams. But other guys that jumped out to me, you guys remember I was a huge Braylon Allen fan at Wisconsin.
Well, I got this down here, Braylon Allen of the Jets.
When I saw him his freshman year, I was like, this dude might win a Heisman Trophy. And he got a little nicked up. Ches Maluzzi was a guy he was splitting time with, so didn't get all the touches. Almost seemed like he fell out of favor, was kind of a weird fit in the Phil Longo offense last year. But gets drafted, and Breece Hall wasn't a guy that could stay healthy last year. When Breece Hall's on the field, he's really good. But now they're saying that Braylon Allen, the way he looked this past weekend, is going to solidify himself as the number 2 back. This Jets team, if they can get Hassan Reddick back,
well, that is super tricky right now. He's demanding a trade.
Yes, but they're saying that he's demanding a trade that they will eventually work it out.
Yeah, they probably will, but there's some bad blood right now.
I've got a weird feeling the Jets are going to be really, really good.
I don't want to hear that.
I know. 7-10 last year with a really good defense. Now you get Aaron Rodgers. Garrett Wilson's a guy we hadn't even seen the untapped potential from him. And you've got a 2-headed monster in the backfield now. Just watch out for the Jets.
And then the other, I had 3 guys written down that were breakouts this weekend. The other one was Miami with Jalen Wright, running back Jalen Wright. They're raving about him at running back.
Well, the interesting thing at Miami, though, is you've got all those San Francisco transplants that are in there at running back. And Devin Achane, who burst onto the scene last year. Before he got hurt, he was leading the NFL in touchdowns.
See, not rushing touchdowns, touchdowns. Was really good last year in the SEC. But, yeah, he looked really good this past week as well.
I don't know where he fits in with Raheem Mostert, who, revitalized his career last year in Miami, and then Devin Achane. Those are your clear 1 and 2.
Well, and he's got the speed of Achane.
Well, that's all they draft now, speed. Yeah. I mean, that's Miami. Like, if you run a 4.2, I don't care what position you play. That's our guy right there. I mean, that's why they love Chop Robinson.
Dunaway picked him on Friday to go back to postseason.
I didn't watch that. I saw that was tweeted. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
He missed it. By the way, he did not put the Rams in the postseason.
Oh, wow.
I did not.
Love that.
If you can pull it back up for us, or my playoff picks every year, it's gone from 8 of 12 to 9 of 14. I actually went Dolphins first, Brown. The first one out of the gate.
Shoot, huh?
I was just going champions of divisions. I went Dolphins. Should have been on Jets now. Dolphins, Ravens, Chiefs, Cowboys, Lions, 49ers, Bengals, Packers, Falcons.
That looks so easy.
You know what's so funny?
And by the way, those look like playoff teams, don't they?
You know what was almost the first pick in all of this? Kansas City, but it used to be Buffalo.
Yep.
Buffalo was a given to be in the postseason, and now, I don't blame you for not taking them because I don't know how good the offense is going to be.
Yeah. Well, they looked awful in their first preseason game.
In that division.
In that division, yeah, that was going to bring that up with the Jets, and obviously where Miami is right now.
Yep.
New England, you can go on and book them not being in the postseason.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yep.
I am curious. You didn't mention it. I am curious, since we talked about it yesterday, Lance's thoughts on Bo Nix. I don't know if you got to see him.
So because Sean Payton came out and said this guy really reminds me of Drew Brees.
Uh-huh.
To Payton wants to be right. Sean Payton's one of those guys. And drafting Bo Nix, I think he wants him to win this battle. Now, I like the fact that, it's going to be a 3-way battle to start this thing off with Zach Wilson and Jared Stidham. Stidham was the worst of the 3.
That's
and
right.
He's kind of listed as your number 1, and I think that's more seniority. Bo Nix is going to end up being your guy.
He looked good, Lance. I mean, I watched his, I think it was 3 possessions. He took them down on a touchdown drive. They get it back, and like the announcer's like, Denver really like to get it back here to see what Nix looks like in the 2-minute, and he looked really good in the 2-minute and let him down to a field goal.
But this has got to be an indictment on Gus.
No, there's no doubt.
I mean, Bo had no confidence. He looked lost. He gets benched for TJ Finley, and then he plays his ass off in Eugene. It was just incredible. Lights out. I still, even after that first season in that Will Stein offense, I was like, maybe this is just Oregon athletes, Pac-12, all that kind of thing. I still never saw him be a franchise quarterback, and I'm not saying he's going to be a franchise quarterback, but he's about to be a starting quarterback his rookie year in the NFL.
He's going to be a starter for a playoff contender.
Yeah.
I will I'm usually all gas, no brakes with Bo Nix, but I will tap the brakes by just saying you have to do this in the preseason.
I know.
I hate this, but it was Denver's ones against
I think it was Denver's twos.
I think there were some twos out there. I don't know how many ones are out there.
I think it was Denver's twos.
Check on that because I thought it was the ones
it was the end of the first
two.
half, beginning of the second half.
Check on that.
I'm pretty sure.
I read it was ones versus two most of the time in that one.
Anyway, with all of that said, I think Denver wants him to be the guy, and it's almost kind of a flush year. Now, maybe something magical can happen because you've got Kansas City, and then, the Chargers right now where they are with Justin Herbert. They were 5-12 last year. You don't expect much from the Raiders. Maybe they catch lightning in a bottle, but if I'm a Broncos fan, I can stomach one more year of just getting a little bit better, maybe 7 or 8 wins, and then maybe hope for the bust out in a couple of years.
NFL exhibition cranks back up Thursday through the weekend again, and Lance will have those plays at Lance's Lock.
6-1, by the way.
6-1 this past week in the NFL preseason. It's that time of year at lanceslock.com. All right. When we come back, Steve Shaw will join us. He's the national head of officiating. And we'll talk college football, rules, questions. If you've got something that you're always wondered about, want to ask an official, jump into the mybookie.ag chat room. Brown will farm those questions over there. The show being brought to you by our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Their website is aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. Jumpstart weight loss. Maybe you want to control some blood pressure or cholesterol numbers. Maybe you want to do it without taking a pill the rest of your life. Try your diet first. See if that helps you out. No cookie cutter plan. Everything's designed specifically for you, and the program is overseen by Leslie and her board-certified team. There are no contracts, no sign-up fees, and you get a free consultation right there. The website is aplanforme.com. Aplanforme.com. Again, a free consultation. Just find out what it's all about. Way to Wellness. Get healthy again. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trussville. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
All right, college football conversation coming up. Keep in mind our kickoff party is Thursday night. walk-ons. Stadium tray starts at 5. Right after work, just come by, hang out with us, have a cocktail, some great food, and we'll talk college football. Our 4th kickoff party on this Next Round platform. And we're 11 days away from week 0. In fact, this is the last week without college football until the week of January 26th.
I am happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about that?
Steve Shaw is the National Director of Officials. He's the guy that, with the NCAA, oversees the rule book and officiating and things like that. He's with us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Welcome in, Steve. Good to see you again. How you been?
I've been great. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. Great to be with you guys.
Yeah. Did you tell the NCAA, we've got a game in Ireland. I really need to observe these officials firsthand. I need to go see how these guys do in game action?
Well, really, I needed to do a pre-trip over there just to make sure the stadium was set, but unfortunately, it didn't work out.
That's unfortunate. Yeah.
Hey, Steve, there are a handful of new rules coming into 2024. The one everyone's talking about, the NFL model, the 2-minute warnings. How big of a deal do you think this is, and how big of an adjustment is this going to be for head coaches, offensive coordinators, quarterbacks, everybody involved?
Well, it is a big change, and it's really the reason we're going there is really 3 specific reasons. Number one, our TV partners last year, we made a change last year with the first down timing rule, and we got great feedback on that. It really accomplished what we wanted. It kind of kept the game moving. Our TV partners felt uncomfortable sometimes because they felt like the game flow was such that they needed to take back-to-back timeouts. And so the first thing we're doing with the 2-minute timeout is each of the media partners will save back one of their media timeouts to coincide with the 2-minute timeout. And they'll be less likely to take a back-to-back. And you know what I'm talking about on a back-to-back. You score a touchdown, you go to TV timeout, you kick off, TV timeout. It's 5 minutes of inaction. Nobody likes that. So it'll help us there. Certainly there's a element from the standpoint of coaching strategy. How do I use my timeouts now? Do I call them before or after? So coaches are dealing with that. But maybe most importantly in the game, we had a number of areas. We actually had 10 areas where we had timing rules that kicked in different places. We talked about the first down timing rule. It kicked in after 2 minutes last year, but we have 10-second runoffs, for example, were after 1 minute. So now we're linking all those together. So all of the timing rules, there's 10 different timing rules, will now take effect anytime after the 2-minute timeout. So the expectation is it shouldn't add time to the game since we're holding back a media timeout. And I think everybody's excited about it, and especially coming off a year where it felt like the game flow was better and we kept the game moving. And just FYI, we saved right at about 4.5 to 5 plays a game. And that's important when you look at the long season, number of student athlete exposures. And so everybody's excited about this. We'll look and see if it really does what we want it to do.
So, Steve, I want you to clarify something because, of course, it's already being talked about in our chat room here. You're not saying that it created a new commercial break. You're just saying it created a guaranteed spot for a commercial break.
That's correct. And we would not, we're not looking reasons to extend the game. But what we are doing is if the TV partner knows they have kind of a guaranteed later, then they are less likely to do one of the back-to-backs. And so, no, we are not adding to the TV contracts. We're not adding a TV timeout. And the requirement is they have to keep that. So they've been very instrumental. They're excited about this, and I think they'll do it properly as we go into the season.
Okay, in-helmet communications, it's very interesting. I'm excited about it. I've watched it in the NFL for so long, but there's only 32 teams in the NFL. There's 134 at the FBS level. Is there something you guys have to worry about, making sure that it works? How does that work if one team's defensive guy can't hear? Explain that to us.
Yeah, so Jim, we've got actually 2 technology rules that we're implementing this year, and you referenced one of them, coach-to-player communication. So the way it will work, each team can have one player on the field that a coach can communicate with. They're identified, they'll have an unbranded green dot on the back of their helmet, and that's how they'll be identified. And the way it works is they can communicate with them anytime, but when the play clock hits 15 seconds or at snap, whichever comes first, then the system will be turned off. It'll stay off throughout the down. And then after the down, it will come back on. So they can't talk to them during the play, or, if we have an extended time at the line of scrimmage at 15 seconds, it will be turned off. And so the intent here is to allow that communication. And as you probably remember, in our bowl season last year, we experimented with both this and the tablets, which is the other technology change. And we got great feedback from the coaches. And this is not really an effort to eliminate signs and sign stealing. There's still going to be signs going on because you got 10 other players for teams with tempo. But the concept of being able to communicate with that player keeps the game moving, gives the coach an opportunity to do that communication. So that's one of the two. The other, I'll just hit it real quick also. We're going to allow, and let me first say, the coach to player, and you hit it up front, is for FBS, Division I FBS only, not any other divisions. Now, if we have an FCS team playing FBS, they're allowed to use it in that game only. But once they go back to their FCS play, they cannot use it. And the reason we limited to that was not that we thought FBS was the only group that could handle it, but really was a manufacturing issue. The manufacturers are, pressed pretty hard to get to the FBS teams, and they really would not be able to reach all teams. And you don't want one team in a division to be able to get it and another that wants it can't get it for fairness. But the other technology change is tablets. We're going to allow tablets on the sideline. And so anybody on the sideline in the coach's box, or, they can take them to the locker room at halftime, can use the tablets. It's in-game video only. They can't put their analytics. They can't put data. They can't load up stuff on these tablets. It's in-game video only. It is video. It's a little different than the NFL. They use the tablets, but they do still shots. We're going to allow the in-game video on the tablets. Can't be interconnected to a big monitor or anything in the locker room. You have to just use the tablet. But those are the two technology changes. And let me mention one other thing. As y'all know, y'all deal with it every day. The dynamic of college football, things are changing right under our feet. I've never had a year. I've been Secretary of Rules editor since 2017. We actually had 3 changes, pretty significant changes, after we published the rule book. If you go into NCAA publications, the online has been updated, but a couple of them are around technology. One is after the spring, a lot of the coaches, the biggest concern they have is just like numbers. Say on the punt team, they have 2 number 5s, that's a foul. So they have to be very careful of their numbering. Same thing with the helmets. Helmet management is important. And so we've made a change on kickoff play. So on all free kicks, the system is not going to be enabled. So there's no limitation on if you had 2 or 3 green dot helmets, that's okay. And the coaches just felt like there was no advantage on that on kickoff. So we're just going to leave the system off. So that was a change. Another around technology, really hadn't got much play. Y'all probably talked about it. Football Oversight actually went in and allowed now all the coaches, analysts or whoever, they can all coach players. Before, only the 10 countable coaches, the head coach, and the GAs could actually physically coach. Now, anybody on staff, all the analysts can coach a player. So we're making a change with coaches' headsets. They still can utilize 23. We used to have restrictions by, what their role was. Now there's no restriction. The head coach can designate the 23 people they want to have, coaches' headsets. So a lot of things changing in our game very quickly. And those are a couple from a technology perspective that came in even after the rules.
Let me just ask you, though, if Team A's on offense, Team B's on defense, and Team B's helmet communication all of a sudden stops working, because that's going to happen. It's just technology. Does Team A, the offense, have to shut down their communication at that point until it gets working again?
So a lot of discussion on this because that could possibly lead to some gamesmanship, if you say, hey, I'm going to prep not to have it. So the rules themselves say that there's no limitation. If one team isn't working, then you just keep playing. the conferences can adopt a rule that says, hey, if one team's communication is completely out, not just one helmet, then they can turn them off. But that's going to be dealt with on a conference by conference basis. So I think that's important. And the other thing that I'll mention there is that if we do determine multiple green dots on the field at one time, then that's a live ball 5-yard penalty. But it also creates a conference review because, the rule, this is going to be difficult, not as much on offense. I mean, the offense, you'll talk to your quarterbacks and you have a first, second, third team quarterback and, maybe another running back that plays quarterback at times. But we see even in the offenses, the backup quarterback comes on the field and runs a play, or the wildcat or whatever. So we're going to have to be very careful, the teams will, in managing helmets. So some players are going to have multiple. On defense, it's even going to be harder because typically your middle linebacker is the guy you're going to talk to, but the backup middle linebacker who will need communications in case the regular middle linebacker goes out, he's probably on blitz packages or third down packages or whatever. So helmet management is going to be very important through this whole situation. But to your point, it'll be up to the conferences to decide how they'll deal with, failure situations. Let me add one last thing. If you ask me my biggest fear, we got 2 big technology changes. Does it work? Will it work? And we had great success in the bowl season. That's encouraging. But let me just tell you, like never before, we've had the 10 conferences working together, formulating this, talking about the technology, the different types. What happens if a MAC team is playing SEC? How do we make sure all the technology works? All 10 conferences have worked incredibly well together. We had multiple meetings virtually. We had a full day where we brought the conference administrators to Dallas and went through this. So the expectation is the conferences have spent a lot of time. We're really hopeful that the technology works. But like you say, there's over 130 teams versus 32 in the NFL. It's a tall order.
What's the hand gesture, real quick? If there's too many green dots, is it finger circle around the eye? Is it unsportsmanlike? What's your hand gesture that you're going to say there's too many green dots?
It's just an equipment violation.
Okay.
So there's no new green dot signal, but we'll take that under consideration. I like your whatever that was.
Steve Shaw is the National Director of Officials for the NCAA. Who is responsible, Steve, for monitoring the turn off at 15 seconds or the snap of the ball of the in-helmet? And I guess also what's loaded on those tablets. Where does this responsibility fall?
The Geek Squad.
It's going to be controversial.
The first is that we're actually adding a person. So in the past, you have a game clock operator, you have a play clock operator. Now you're going to have a third, which is the coach to player operator, and that person will be the one that will actually, when the play clock hits 15 seconds or snap, we'll turn it off. And then when the play is over, we'll turn it back on. And so we're working through that. And we've also had to work with the companies providing the technology. If it's 2 different companies, they've got to integrate their turnoff into one switch. And so far, that has worked very well. So there's an opportunity. If you're interested, go talk to your university, and you might be the coach to player communications operator. So that's how we'll deal with that. You had a second question as part of that?
Well, just what's loaded on the pads. You said you can't have analytics and things on there. Yeah.
Yeah. That is game management. So we are not, the officials themselves will not be checking out iPads or counting numbers. They can have up to 18. That's a lot. I don't know if all schools are going to have 18, but that is really a game management responsibility. The only impact from an officiating standpoint, and we saw this in actually the first bowl game we used it, UCLA was in the game. So one of the rules that we have, if as a coach, if you take your iPad and approach an official to show them video, that is an automatic unsportsmanlike conduct foul. And that won't be a surprise. We're telling every coach so they know they cannot use their iPad to come up and show video to an official. And we really got that our first bowl game. We had an assistant coach early in the game, there was a pass play, and he brought the iPad right to the headline judge. The headline judge did a good job. He kind of walked away. The head coach came up, talked to him, and the assistant came back in again. So that will be, you probably won't see it because we're informing the coaches, but that's what we learned from the bowl season, that the coaches cannot approach the officials and show them plays on the iPad. Or excuse me, the tablet. I'm not supposed to be. I'm vendor agnostic.
Yeah, vendor agnostic. Yes.
So, Steve, there is nothing more frustrating, momentum changing for a fan than when their defensive player makes a big play in the backfield and it ends up being a face mask. Now we've got horse collar tackles in the tackle box. Am I off here thinking that there's going to be a lot of this flagged early on because so much chaos there in the pocket, and a lot of these defensive linemen are just reaching and grabbing whatever they can, and it seems like when you get a good tackle for loss in the box, it's normally a defensive lineman pulling down a back by the collar.
Yeah, this was really put in as player safety. So before, just to set the ground, before, if there was action, that was a horse collar tackle, if it occurred in the tackle box, it was not a foul. And we had it's not a lot, it's not every game, but we had a few from last year. We actually had a couple of videos where we flagged it. The officials talked it through and said, no, it's in the tackle box. I think most fans didn't realize, if their quarterback got yanked down with a horse collar tackle, that it could not be a foul. So, but, from a player safety standpoint, the impact on the knees is the same, whether you're in the tackle box or outside. So this was really a player safety situation to say now, if there's action that, looks like a horse collar tackle, that is, and that's abruptly pulling them down, then it's going to be a foul anywhere on the field.
Fans, I think, sometimes forget in college athletics, college football, that every play is reviewed in real time, and then sometimes they stop play to continue that. Is there ever a time that the replay official can just buzz down, hey, you're off a half yard, move it a half yard forward? Is that allowed in the review process? Talk to us about that.
So a couple things there. And let me say up front that collaborative replay continues to grow. The SEC was in the forefront doing a lot of that. Now, this year, either 8 or 9, we have one conference still up in the air, but 8 or 9 of the 10 FBS conferences are going to be using collaborative replay, and we're putting in officiating standards around that. So replay is still a big part of what we're doing from the perspective of our game. One of the things that we're trying to do more of, and we call it, you can have different names for it, an expedited review. Let's say it's a simple play, the pass bounces to the receiver. You don't need replay. I mean, even from the line feed, you can tell that's clearly incomplete. For some reason, we called it complete. We're trying to save the long run over, getting under the headset just to tell them it's incomplete. So we're using our official-to-official communication. We call it O-to-O, where the replay official goes in and tells the referee, hey, incomplete pass. It counts as an official review, but we're not going to go through the whole scenario. Just very quickly, hey, it was incomplete. It's going to be 3rd and down at 3rd and 10 at the 25. Reset the ball. Let's go. And really try to keep the game moving. Occasionally you can use, and we won't use it as much as the NFL will, but you can use O-to-O in non-replay situations for fact-based type situations. A lot of times, like there's a block in the back call on a punt return, but the flag is 5 yards off. So you can use O-to-O to say, hey, the foul occurred at the 25. Only if it's fact-based information. There's no judgment in it. Hey, that wasn't holding. You cannot do anything that goes to judgment. But if it's a quick fact-based thing, they'll share that with the crew on the field without going through replay.
Perfect.
If I could ask you just a few quick ones from the listeners as we wrap up here, Steve. First of all, people want us to ask you, and it's kind of broad, I get it. 10-second runoffs after the 2-minute warning. Is there a change there, or why are people wanting us to ask you that maybe?
Yes, so before the 10, we actually have 4 different type 10-second runoff. I won't go through all that. I'm happy to, anytime you want. But they were always occurring after we went under 1 minute. And we actually had a few situations where you say, well, why are we changing that? We're locking everything to be after the 2-minute timeout. But here's a real situation that we saw occasionally. Let's say you had a fumble, and the ruling on the field was fumble. The defense recovered it, ran it back. He got tackled, and it was 58 seconds. Replay looked at it. No, it wasn't a fumble. Knee was down at 1:03. Well, now does it apply? Does it not? Now we're simple. If it's after the 2-minute timeout, we go to the 10-second runoff.
People are hungry for some sort of penalty for faking injuries. Are we close to that? I mean, what's the discussion been like for that?
Continues to be a big discussion with the rules committee. We're still not to a point where we're ready to make a penalty, because how do you know if it's a feigned injury or not? We tell our officials, if the player's down, we're going to stop the clock. There's still an appeal process. If you feel like your opponent has feigned an injury, you can appeal it, and it actually goes back to the conference to deal out any punishment. They can do it publicly or privately. We've made progress there. We haven't eliminated it, and still work to be done.
Do you think, and this is another question from the audience, do you think college coaches and the rules committee are watching this NFL kickoff, and will it be in college at some point? Do you have a gut feel on that?
Well, so we are going to watch it very closely. We had a lot of conversation back in February with the NFL, and the reason we're going to watch what they do. But here's one thing, and I know you want the short answer. This will be the medium answer. With the changes we've made to kickoffs, we've limited the run up. We touch back out to the 25. We put the fair catch option in. Really, the two most significant is we've eliminated the double team block on the kickoff and the illegal blindside block. So the good news from our perspective is our injury rates on kickoffs have actually come down to slightly below that of a regular scrimmage down. So we no longer have an injury rate issue. The question is it still a viable play? Last year, we had between 33 and 34% of our kickoffs returned. I think for the NFL, and I'm not speaking for them, but they were concerned it wasn't a viable play anymore. Their kickers were just blasting it through the end zone. You look at the Super Bowl, there were 0 returns. So they want to keep it as a viable play, and this seemed to be a way to do it. So we're going to watch it very closely. We don't have the driver of no returns and injury rate to push us there, but we'll certainly look at it to see strategically if it's a better play for our game. But we're pretty happy with our kickoff because it keeps the surprise onside kick in there, the big return that could change a game. So the kickoff play, as long as our injury rate stays where it is in pretty good shape.
We started with a 2-minute warning. We know it was TV-based. It's all about money. We've got NIL now. We've asked this question before. With the SEC, the Big Ten, and just $1 billion industry, are we ever going to see 24/7, 365-day-a-year officials?
We've had good conversations with that. What's the next step? And they're just like the conferences. I mean, nobody thinks about it, but think about if you were a Pac-12 official. I mean, that conference and you'd worked your whole career to get there, and then the conference falls apart. So our coordinators are working well together. We share talent. We really do a lot of work together from camps and clinics and development. But the NFL tried the full-time officiating group. They had individuals that they put there, and they really, as they tracked it, they just didn't see a big advantage in correct call percentages. So it's something we're looking at, to continue. How do we make our officials better? I mean, I sleep with that question in my head every night. And we've got a lot of things we're doing, but I'm not sure yet we're ready. In fact, our officials are all independent contractors. I know y'all know this. So they're technically not employees. That would be a significant change to move them to an employee status. So I don't see that coming, but we're going to continue to work every day to figure out how do we make our officials better and better.
All right, that was a lot.
Man, that was so good.
National Director of Officiating, Steve Shell. We threw a lot at you, Steve. We appreciate you answering the questions.
Well, it's always great to be with you, and y'all do a lot for college football, and we appreciate that. So keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Good to see you. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, Steve Shaw on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
I told him, I said 9:25 to give us to 9:45.
Yeah, we blew through that.
I mean 9:50, and I know he blocked off plenty of time. That was so informative, man. It was so entertaining, so good.
The NFL kickoff's awful. I don't know why you can't split the difference. Let's just put the ball at the 25 and start it out, because there is no action. There's no chance. Maybe you'll have one return kick this year.
For a touchdown?
Yeah.
I think there were only 4 last year, right? Yeah. I think that's the number.
I like it because if you're kicking it into the zone, they've got to return it. And at some point, people will figure out how to break a play, I think.
I don't see it because obviously, kickoff coverage has got to wait until returnee actually touches the ball. There's just no momentum at all. It was the dullest thing I saw all week.
Kick returns for a touchdown last year, 4 overall in the NFL.
It's going to be 0 this year.
And I think that's what you watch. Like Steve said, are there more kick returns because they were just blasting out of the end zone? That's number one. Are there fewer kick returns for a touchdown? And what's the injury situation? That will determine how successful this rule is and if it continues.
NFL did it for injuries. We'll see, and they wanted some play there. We'll see. We'll see how it works
I'd love
out.
to see the back facts on how many more people, what the percentage was of injuries as opposed to regular plays just on kickoffs.
Well, I think that's out there. We can search that. I think they put that out there when they were announcing this. Really enjoyed our time with Steve Shaw. Late for a break here. We'll come back. Quick segment. We'll get to Clay coming up just after the top of the hour. The show being brought to you today by our friends at HydroLife. Tell us about HydroLife.
HydroLife Therapy open daily, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., where we originate from in Birmingham. 2 locations, the original in Homewood, Highway 119 in Greystone. Also a Tuscaloosa location. Very important. Mention the next round. You're going to get 20% off any of these great services. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy. It's all under one roof. IV therapy treatments packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, boost your immune system, and much more. Members are rewarded with deep discounts. Make sure you ask about the memberships as well. Stop in today to one of those great locations. Mention the next round for more information. HydroLiveTherapy.com.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings account, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. I'm here with my good friend Jon Lunceford of Lunceford Furniture to tell you about special values on some super comfortable seating. What you got, John?
Lance, every year we stock up on great comfort items like Lazy Boy recliners and sofas so that our customers can be ready for fall and football. This year is no different. We've made special purchases that will deliver great value to Next Round listeners and give them the most comfortable seat in the house. And as always, we've got the best prices in the state on Lazy Boy and the best selection anywhere.
That's awesome. We all know from years of shopping with you guys that Lunceford Furniture is the home for Lazy Boy value. Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
No matter how many times people like Steve say it, everyone's going to assume it's an extra commercial break.
Yeah.
But even though he says it wasn't, people are going to keep, they're going to, in their own head, they're going to say,
it seems like it, though.
It's an extra commercial break. He literally told everyone it prevents them from doing, or will limit them, less likely to do back-to-back timeouts, touchdown, kickoff, touchdown, commercial break, kickoff, commercial break, because they know they've got a stoppage coming up at the 2-minute that allows them to take it. But no one will believe it, just like I didn't believe it when the commissioner told me. I swear that some of the CBS commercial breaks seem like they're 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes long. And he says, Jim, that's not true. And I said, Commissioner, I'm at the games. It seems like it's that way. He goes, look at the clock. We actually have a clock out there for you. It never says 4.5 minutes. I said, it seems like 4.5 minutes. It's not true, Jim. I know, Commissioner Sankey, but it seems like it. No matter how many times the people in authority tell you, it seems like there is so many.
Well, you're never going to convince some people.
Yeah.
Apparently you're one of those.
I apparently am. The Inverness Country Club can convince you how to enjoy life a little bit more with a community of just fun.
Yeah, hey, whatever your interests are, you can find it at Inverness. They even have a vineyard club. Our man Travis at Oak House had dinner on there on Saturday. He said he had played golf at Inverness 6 times already this week. And he's a guy that just got a membership a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, I cannot believe I waited this long to pull the trigger. So if you're one of these guys, you play a lot of golf, you've got a family, you want to hit the pool, they've got memberships that fit everyone. The social membership, it's got that resort-style pool complex, full-service cabana and bar, live music on Friday nights, Sunday brunch, the golf, of course, beautiful course, currently expanding the driving range. Also, childcare. Big plus here. You and your wife on a day of golf or tennis, guess what? You can drop the kid, go have yourself a day on the court or course, dinner with friends. Knowing your kid is safe on site is a massive plus. Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kid? Take a tour of this unbelievable club today. Call Erin. Tell her the Next Round sent you. 205-991-8608. 205-991-8608 or online ICCalabama.com.
How long before a coach claims, because I asked Steve this question about who monitors the 15 seconds. Like, is it a conference official? And Steve made it sound like basically it's just like hiring the chain gang, right? I mean, we got the guy that's, selling tires Monday through Friday. Saturday, he's on the sidelines, pulling the chains. How long before a coach claims, I know for a fact, their headsets weren't turned off at 15 seconds. Now, when we come play here at fill in the blank stadium, we know we're up against it already, but we can't deal with that too.
What stadium in the SEC? There's one stadium where it seems like the headsets always go out. I think people said it about Tuscaloosa for a bit, didn't they?
I don't remember.
I can't remember where it was.
I know the clock never worked at Legion Field, but I mean, you can see this happening, right? The coach is like, their headsets weren't turned off. We know it.
Yeah.
Now we come here and play. We know we're up against it, but we can't allow them to cheat us like that too.
Yeah.
Or they'll say, they have more stuff than they were supposed to on their tablets. We're gonna file that complaint with the office.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you introduce new technology,
that's right,
it opens the door for more cheating. And there's going to be cheating. College football was
I'm
built on
telling
cheating.
you, that horse collar question I asked, this is going to be a bigger deal than most people believe. because you talk to defensive linemen, and it's one thing when you're targeting a quarterback and you're able to pull that guy down, just wrap him up, they're going to blow the whistle as quick as possible. When you got an athletic or a big bruising running back coming out of the backfield, and like you quickly turn around and your only chance is to grab his jersey, those penalties are going to be called. I think you'll see 1, 2, 3 a game.
Yeah, but in an open field, when you're chasing somebody down and you can't get to him and you grab him and pull him down, I can see those injuries.
Right.
But
in the tackle box,
if we're blocking, right, and we're engaged and he's running by me, I'm just going to reach out and grab him by the.
If you're inside the pads, it's a penalty.
And I don't even think you're going to be able to coach this. Like, I don't know how you tell guys. Are they just going to let guys go now? Like, you see a running back, you're going to grab them.
I think if I'm the coach, I say tackle him. If in that instance, tackle him, and we'll deal with the repercussions.
Yeah. I mean, we'll let God and Steve Shaw.
Let God and the officials sort it out, because the other option, like you said, just let him run by you. I don't want you to do that either, right? But yeah, I had not thought of it, Lance. There was not one of the rules changes that jumped out at me.
Yeah, it was listed 5th on the new rule changes. Yeah. But it may be the one that impacts us the most.
Well, there is nothing more frustrating. You'll give me this.
I'm 100% with you.
It's 3rd and 11. And you get a big tackle for loss, and then that flag comes out, and it is a game changer. It's exactly what happened to the Cowboys against the Rams. They had a roughing penalty. The game was over. And it was preseason, but I'm just saying this will happen in the regular season.
There's a lot of people that didn't know there were no horse colors in the tackle box, right?
Right.
They would see a replay. Oh, it's a horse color. Well, if it's in the tackle box, it wasn't.
No.
So there's a lot of people that don't even know the rules been changed. But for those that know,
they will quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see how it impacts the games this year. It's always defensive holding. Illegal use of the hands for a first down.
I hate any bailout penalty. I hate a bailout penalty. Like Lance said, it's 3rd and 16. I heave one down the field, and I get a questionable pass interference or defensive hold. Such a bailout penalty, and I hate those.
I'm almost even in the NFL, I'm almost ready for pass interference just to be 15 yards.
It should be.
I'm not a big spot of the foul guy.
I'm not a big spot of foul guy. All right, top of the hour here. When we come back, we'll get to Clay, and still Emily Grace will join us from Tuscaloosa, her camp day today in Tuscaloosa. She's really excited about being in Auburn tomorrow, because she's going to get to participate in a in-helmet communication demonstration. So she'll have a lot on that from Auburn tomorrow when she joins us. We continue to roll on here today, just 11 days away from the start of the college football season. The show being brought to you today by our friends at JohnstonRVCenter.com. Hey, tailgating around the corner, the weather just around the corner, perfect to get out camping and stuff.
Jimmy, it is tailgate season right now, and Johnston RV Center can get you ready for tailgate season with some of the best pricing you'll see for the rest of this month. It's their RV showcase. See more at JohnstonRVCenter.com. All the best floor plans, all the best brands, and the lowest pricing of the season, including pre-owned travel trailers, new and pre-owned, starting just $14,995. How about fifth wheels? Starting at $397 a month. RV warranty forever. Make sure you got that lifetime warranty on anything new and qualifying used. Right now at Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, hour number 2 of the show. Well, it's hard to get first-time ever matchups in college football. We've been playing almost 200 years now.
That is correct, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
most of the same teams.
When George Washington led his team across the Delaware to play that first rivalry game, and we've had a lot of matchups since then. The folks at FBS Schedule have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new matchup, first time ever meetings.
Are they all FBS versus FBS?
It is, yeah. Coming up, I'll tell you who they are after LT tells us about Dr. B, the guy that's changing the landscape of hair for both of you guys.
Yeah, so tired last night, but just laid on the couch. Laid on the couch and put the old cap on. I do it 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time. The non-invasive treatment that is helping my hair follicles grow. My hair has more than doubled in thickness since I went to first see Dr. Beckenstein back in the day. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
Listen, these are all created by conference realignment.
Okay, let's go 1 to 10 excitement level. 1 being, I don't even know if I'll watch it. 10, my main TV.
1 the NFL kickoff return right now for me.
Okay. Yes, for you. Yes, 10 Metallica concert.
I'm going to tell you there's only one that's really good.
Okay, so that'll be our only 10. All right.
There's a second one that could be.
Let me ask you this: are some on the list because of the SEC expansion?
Oh, they're all because of conference realignment.
Because Big Ten or SEC, one of the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
In no particular order, I'll say what I think are the best 3 for last. October 19th, NC State will play California for the first time ever.
Yeah.
California.
If it was on that Thursday night to kick off the season, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
California is one of those boring programs to me. I've just never gotten excited. Even when they have Marshawn Lynch and Aaron Rodgers
Jeff
and
Tedford
Deshaun Jackson.
Such a good coach right there. I do think that California, and I've been on record saying this for a couple of weeks now, they are going to beat somebody they should not.
Okay.
I feel just the opposite. I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in college football.
I'm telling you, they got a quarterback.
Well, can we circle back to this? Because I want to look at their schedule. All right, go ahead.
September 20th, Stanford and Syracuse will play for the first time ever.
That's worse.
It's 2 products that have been good at one point in history.
Yeah.
Yep. September 14th, Indiana and UCLA will play for the first time ever. They never met in a Rose Bowl?
These are like crappy bowl games.
These are getting worse.
Yeah. So you've saved the best for last, I'm told.
Yeah. There's only 7 first ever meetings this year. October 19th, South Carolina and Oklahoma will play for the first time ever.
Well, you've got, I don't think it's a storyline, but, Venables was at Clemson. That was South Carolina's rival, obviously. And Shane Beamer came from Oklahoma.
Well,
those are compelling storylines.
Been more compelling if you would have had Spencer Rattler, who went from Oklahoma to South Carolina, who, by the way, played pretty well for the Saints this past week.
Good. I'm pulling for him, actually.
These three are potential upsets, is all I'm saying. They're not necessarily, but potential upsets. And this is from FBS schedules, first time ever meetings. October 25th, Rutgers plays USC for the first time ever at the LA Coliseum. It's a potential upset.
This could be one of those games that Lincoln Riley's not supposed to lose. They can really put him on a hot seat.
I think, I'll look this up right now.
I mean, helmet game, no thank you.
Jimmy, I think, though, that is a big a Friday night game. And I think it's a weird start time for Rutgers. I think we've looked at this. This is USC Rutgers.
It's 9 o'clock Pacific time.
It is 11 p.m. Eastern time on Fox. So Rutgers is playing a midnight body clock game in the Coliseum.
Boys used to be in a club.
On a Friday night, yes.
Turn it up.
Well, I know your issue, though, is what do I do all day?
Oh, yeah.
I'm out in a hotel in L.A., and my body clock's all screwed up anyway. What am I doing all day?
Yeah, blackout screens. November 9th, Maryland plays Oregon for the first time ever. It's in Eugene. Maryland's not a bad football team. Potential upset there.
Well,
Likely
look, I know
not.
Under Armour, now you can't judge it by the sword that they've got on Michigan Avenue in Chicago because it's like 4 levels. But I don't think Under Armour has done as well as it did 10 years ago.
No, it has not.
You go back, and Kevin Plank, the founder of Under Armour, and with their uniform combinations, they wanted to become the East Coast version of Oregon. And they had money behind it, and it just never really worked out. And I think they're a very average program. Now, if that would have worked out and Oregon was the East Coast Maryland, then maybe it's a fun matchup.
And Tungavaloa is not the quarterback there anymore. He has moved on. September 28th, this is the last one. It's the best one. Florida State and SMU play each other for the first time ever. It's in Dallas, and that is a potential upset game. SMU could beat Florida State. I don't think they will, but they could beat Florida State.
I talked about teams that will be favored in 10-plus games, and that's one of those. If Florida State, for whatever reason, was an underdog, and I don't think they will be because I think Brand's going to outweigh that, SMU is going to be really good this year. Like, really good.
Yeah.
And so I don't think the ACC is going to overwhelm them at all. And I think even Florida State coming into Dallas, I think, that is one of those games to circle. Because if SMU was to win that game, I mean, there's a chance SMU is playing for the ACC championship.
So you think Cal pulls an upset?
I think they will pull an upset, yeah.
You think they get scalded?
I think they the quarterback is good. I think they lost a lot of people to the portal because when the Pac-12 folded, I think everybody hit the door except that quarterback for some reason.
So they open with UC Davis at home, but they're at Auburn week 2. It's 2:30 ESPN 2K.
That ain't happening. Now, of course, last year I didn't see New Mexico State steamrolling Auburn.
San Diego State at home. They're at Florida State.
No.
Saturday, 7, okay. Bye week.
I mean, I would go back to say I'm not sure they're not supposed to. I mean, I'm not sure they're supposed to beat San Diego State.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
wherever
you put San Diego State in the pecking order there.
Give me a game in Berkeley.
Okay, I'm about to.
Okay.
Weird spot. No TV time on this yet. And it's coming after a bye week for Cal and after an interesting stretch for Miami. But Miami is at Cal Saturday, October 5th.
Mario Cristobal is a coach that loses a game he's not supposed to.
Miami's not going to lose to Cal.
They lost to Georgia Tech last year.
Yeah, they did.
All they had to do was take a knee.
Yeah. It comes after Miami is at USF, which is an interesting game. They host Virginia Tech, which is a good game, and then they go to Cal.
Yeah. Cal's going to beat a team that doesn't have a really good defense. I mean, watching them against USC last year, I mean, it was like watching old school WAC football.
Yep.
It was just touchdown, back and forth.
At Pitt, then they host NC State. See, I'm looking at these, traveling all the way across country. I know Jim's about to tell me they don't do it in horse and buggy, Brown.
Yeah.
They fly now.
I don't care, man. Flying from Atlanta to Birmingham yesterday sucked.
I don't think Cal's going to beat NC State.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oregon State, they've got a bye week, and then the rest of these games, they're at Wake, Syracuse, host Stanford, and they're at SMU to wrap up, that big rivalry weekend.
Yeah, I don't know where it is. I'm just saying that Francisco Mendoza will pull an upset somewhere.
I'm surprised he stayed.
Well, maybe I'm one of the few that likes him.
Oh, you mean other coaches didn't like him?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
maybe I was just so impressed in that USC game against a bad defense.
Before LT tells us about our friends at CPAP Plus, I remind you that not only do you have great programming at Cover Crimson and the Barn Auburn, part of our Disrupt Media family, you can go over to that website, Disrupt Media, on YouTube and get that, but go straight to the website. For paywall material, inside information, what's going on with both programs, covercrimson.com, thebarnauburn.com, thebarnauburn.com, $1. Try it out for a month for $1. See if you like it as we get ready for this football season. And then you can buy yearly memberships, however you want to hang around with us. We've got cool T-shirts for you. Go check it out. Covercrimson.com, covercrimson.com, thebarnauburn.com. Brought to you in part today by our friends at CPAP Plus.
Hey, they carry the best equipment from names like ResMed, React, Fisher Paykel with mask and supplies in stock every day. Guess what? If you need it today, they've got it today. Don't buy your mask and supplies from Amazon or online. Go see the folks at CPAP Plus. See what you're actually buying. Visit any of their 3 convenient locations. Pelham Highway 280, now open at Trustful for a free CPAP checkup and free filters. No appointment is needed. With over 200 5-star reviews on Google, the folks at CPAP Plus are CPAP users themselves, so the people helping you know what it's like and are ready to help. Our friend Ush, Penny Grace, went in a few weeks ago, said he was having problems with his insurance. The connection between doctor and insurance, CPAP Plus got involved, and guess what? Everything was ironed out. Insurance took care of everything. Stop in today. Tell the O'Neill brothers the Next Round sent you.
The MyBookie.ag chat room, Brooks says, listening to this, I'm convinced the ACC and the Big Ten should make a trade. ACC trade Stanford and Cal to the Big Ten for Maryland and Rutgers.
I think it would work for both programs, or all 4 programs. Yeah. Stanford and Cal would, yes, please. Rutgers and Maryland would say no.
Well, they wouldn't like the. I think Maryland, money aside, Maryland, I think would probably like to get back to ACC basketball, where they kind of, cut their teeth.
Right.
When they were really good.
And then I think Maryland on the football side would look at it and say, we've got a chance in the ACC to make the title game. A chance. Well, I mean, would you say Maryland, if you just drop Maryland in the ACC, they got a chance to one day be in the title game?
One day, yeah. I mean,
do they in the Big Ten?
No.
I don't. They'll never be in the title game of the Big Ten.
Put it this way, Duke has played in the ACC championship game. Would have had a chance last year possibly if Riley Leonard doesn't get hurt. But there is no chance if Duke was in the Big Ten, they ever would have played. I say that Northwestern did. I guess it depends on divisions.
Yeah, the divisions changed everything.
But without divisions, no. Maryland would never play for one.
Yeah, you're not going to convince anybody ever to give up Big Ten money for ACC money. In fact, Florida State is literally suing to try to leave the ACC for unknown where they're headed. But it does make more sense geographically if you ended up doing that. Hats off. I love the state of California landscape, beauty and everything, but the earthquakes would freak me out. Yesterday, did y'all see this? There was a 4.4 on the Richter scale earthquake just right outside of Los Angeles where millions of homes and buildings shook. It happened so close to the ESPN studios in Los Angeles.
Right.
They were live on NBA Today. Malika Andrews was hosting, and the cameras were shaking so much, and she calmly made sure everyone in the studio was okay, still thanked the interview, and tossed a break without going crazy on the air. I'd have been hiding under a table or something, but you could physically see the cameras shaking during the NBA Today live segment.
I slept through the only earthquake I've ever been in.
What was that Richter scale? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look it up.
Where were you?
I was up in the mountains of North Carolina, and it was a big enough earthquake that they were making a big deal about it.
Right.
And it woke my wife up. I slept through it.
Yeah.
It was
recently?
This was a couple of years ago.
Oh, a couple
I'll look
years
it up.
ago.
Clay Travis is with us. He joins us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, founder of Outkick. You see him on Fox as well. What's up, Clay? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Hey, so you spent time out in L.A. When you were doing Fox, and you would be weekends out there. You know, I was out there for an abbreviated time. I never experienced an earthquake. Did you ever experience anything?
Yeah, 3.
Wow.
One that was actually pretty big. It was when I was in San Diego. It was like, it was a long time ago. It was when my youngest was like 2 years old. I'm not even sure we had a second one yet. And then another one, probably the biggest one. I don't remember the exact date, but it was, if you remember when Kawhi Leonard announced he was signing with the Clippers. there was an earthquake in LA that day.
Wow.
Which was, kind of crazy just because, it lent itself to the metaphor of like an earth-shattering, unexpected outcome because everybody thought at that time that Kawhi was going to sign, if I remember correctly, that he was going to sign with the Lakers. If you remember that whole scenario, that's probably been, 7 or 8 years ago now. And then once I was actually in the Fox studio when it started to shake. The main Fox Sports studios are in LA, and you could see, for anybody who stood there and looked up at all the lights, you could see all the lights shaking above you. I mean, it wasn't a huge earthquake, but so I think I've been in 3 legitimate earthquakes where it was like, hey, there was an earthquake. And then I've been in a few, just kind of little small rumbles of no significance. But yeah, I probably spent almost a couple of years of my life in L.A. Off and on at this point.
Mine was a 5.1. I just looked it up. It was August 9th of 2020. We were on an anniversary trip in the mountains of North Carolina. Sparta was the epicenter. 5.1, that's a pretty significant earthquake, especially on the East Coast.
This was 4.4 yesterday.
I think the one in L.A. for when Kawhi signed was one of the biggest that L.A. has had in a long time. And then there was one, like I said, in San Diego. I remember, it's funny because I can remember it in the context of sports, but not the year. It was when Butler played Duke in the national championship game. So whatever that was, like March of 10 or something like that, was the other one. And that was pretty substantial. I think that was in the San Diego area. Like that was a real, like the whole building was shaking.
7.1 was the Kawhi, the day Kawhi signed was a 7.1, which is
that's a big earthquake. So, and I was on, I think, like the 9th floor of a hotel. And, when you're high up in the sky, like 9th floor, 10th floor, whatever I was, like you can really feel the building kind of swaying. And it's like, oh, this is not supposed to happen. I remember I was like laying down, like reading a newspaper or something. And I was like, oh, wow, this is substantial.
Yeah, you definitely were 10th floor. You're never on single digits, man. You're always above the 10th floor. You're never a 9.
Sweet, let's be honest, but sometimes they have suites on board.
Clay, how much Olympics did you watch? Look, for whatever reason, I wasn't intrigued at all. I didn't care anything about watching men's basketball, but, everybody, it comes down to the gold medal against France, on their home court. I just saw on Get Up on ESPN, and look, I'm sure Mike Greenberg does this off the cuff sometimes, and maybe for eyeballs, I have no idea, but he said it is the greatest shot in the history of basketball.
Whoa,
I saw that too. I saw it yesterday too when he was doing it. That's the most asinine thing I've ever seen.
They win the game with or without that
they
shot.
They were up 6 with 50 seconds to go. He had it in front of like Ray Allen that brought all the crowd back against my
head of Leitner.
Yeah, Leitner shot. Michael Jordan over Craig
asinine.
Elo, Chris Jenkins to win a national championship.
Yeah, no, it's nowhere near that. And by the way, I would even say. Was it 84 when Houston had the airball shot that was caught?
83, NC State.
NC State,
NC State. We have a problem in general with not being able to contextualize, and part of that is what makes sports fun, but we always tend to overrate the thing that is most recent relative to the thing that has happened in the past. So the immediate reaction time is typically not the most accurate. I watched a decent amount of the Olympics. My radio show is on during the time that a lot of them are on. So I tend to want to watch sports live as opposed to watch it on tape delay in the evenings. My wife's she was a gymnast, so she's a big fan of gymnastics. So we watched, she had it on. I watched a decent amount of that. And I watched the U.S. against Serbia because that was obviously like such a crazy spot. But no, look, I like the Olympics. I thought it was entertaining, but I wasn't obsessed. I did think that they did a really good job of carrying it, for lack of a better way of describing it. I thought that they did great. And I do think when it's in the United States and when it's prime time here in Los Angeles in 4 years, I think that will be epic, as will, by the way, the World Cup in 2026 in North America. When it's in our time zone, when it's in our geographic footprint, I think we have a lot to look forward to if you're a sports fan for both of those events coming.
They averaged 31.3 million viewers a day, counting their morning, day, afternoon, and primetime sessions, which was pretty impressive. The thing I went to, the only thing I streamed, Clay, was they called it the Gold Zone, where they would just whip around to metal moments, endings of races.
Like NFL Red Zone,
Like NFL Red Zone.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, why does college football, I know ESPN tried it, it just didn't work with college football. And if I remember, they would stay on bad games too long, like Miami of Ohio versus Toledo. They wouldn't bounce around to just the good games. How come college football can't get the Red Zone-esque thing going? And the same way with, like they did with the Gold Zone. Why can't college football on a Saturday have a channel like that?
I think probably there's too many games. Unlike in the NFL where there's only 5 or 6 or 7 games at most. In college football, which is why we love it.
But can we just pick 5 or 6 from a window and just say we're going to whip around those games?
I think the NFL works because of fantasy too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to probably come down to rights fees, unfortunately, because the NFL kind of does all their deals at once, whereas you have a situation where every conference comes up at different times and there are different rights agreements. But I agree with you. I mean, I think. Instead of just ESPN being able to put all their games on, although I would suggest to you that the SEC now all being under the ABC ESPN arc, I don't know why there wouldn't be an SEC channel where you could watch everything all at once. 10 o'clock. Yeah. That would make a lot of sense, I think. But same spot. Yep. Sorry, guys. I got a television hit out here. That I think would make a lot of sense. I really do.
Hey, so what did you say the numbers were on the Olympics?
31.3 million a day average. The men's basketball game was 19.1 million. The women's gymnastics all around 12.1 on a Tuesday afternoon.
Okay, Clay, let me ask you this. If we had the prison games and you had literally you had prisoners from all over the world represent their countries or their prison system, and you had maybe a little bit more of aggressive games, and then ultimately instead of a gold, you win freedom or you win something financially for your family, do you think the ratings would be better?
I mean, it's kind of like the Hunger Games, right? Where you basically just throw everybody into, I mean, that's what they're doing right now in Russia. They cleared out the prisons and said, you know this? No. If you can survive in Ukraine, you get your freedom. I mean, I'm not making this up. They let out all the murderers, all the rapists. They offered them, hey, you have to go to the front lines in Ukraine, but if you survive after 6 months, you get freedom.
Jeez.
Look it up. It's pretty wild.
I would highly doubt that they follow up with that, by the way.
Yeah.
You survive, you go right
back. We have
a
documentary crew on site. That's what we need.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, but that is real. Look, I mean, the 19 million, putting that in context, that's less than watch like an average Thursday night football game a lot of times. Right. So anyway, the audience is substantial, but we're a couple of weeks away from football, and I think the NFL is going to skyrocket. I do think what is emblematic about why the Olympics did well is there's a desperate demand right now for escapism, given how serious so many things are, and I'm not just talking about the election. Inflation has taken a big bite out of people's wallets. If you've got a mortgage and it's 6 or 7%, I mean, heck, that's a really tough road to hoe. I think people just want to kind of be able to kick back and enjoy and escape, and I think that's kind of symptomatic of what the success of the Olympics represented.
Look, I know you need to go. I wanted to ask you this, though, before you get out of here. Tennessee has announced today naming rights for their football field at Neyland Stadium. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Pilot Service Stations, which Jimmy Haslam is the owner of that, I believe, or at least once was.
He used to be. I think he sold it to Warren Buffett, but they're longtime big boosters, the Pilot crew.
Now, they say this will preserve Neyland Stadium name. Like, we're not going to put a name on the stadium. It's always going to be Neyland Stadium, but this is a way we can make money. We actually talked about this a couple of weeks ago with Ohio State. What's your reaction to Pilot being on the field? Do you care?
No, if they help get better players on the field, I'm all for it.
That's right.
And by the way, number one quarterback for 2026, number one tackle about to commit on Saturday. Josh Heupel won a lot of games without top 5, top 6 caliber recruiting classes. This is, I'm not kidding about this. This is the best collection of quarterbacks from a ratings perspective that has ever been in the quarterback room or committed to Tennessee in the history of volunteer football. Now, they probably all won't pan out, and you guys know in this new modern era, I give credit to Ty Simpson. He seems to be trying to wait his turn at Alabama. That's very rare. Most guys who are top recruits come in and say, hey, I expect to start within a year or so, or I'll go find an NIL deal with somebody else and go walk into another job. So when you've got, I think Tennessee's got 3 of the top 3 4-stars in the last 5 years at quarterback, another high 4. So some of those guys may well transfer, but Nico is basically the top quarterback in his class, and now they just got the top quarterback in 26. So Heupel's been good with Hendon Hooker of the world, and even Joe Melton. If he's got the elite quarterback talent, I think there's good times coming on Rocky Top.
Clay,
but as a women's softball school, I
Yes.
wouldn't expect you guys to know much about football after all.
Thank you, Clay. Have a great week.
All right, y'all too.
We'll see you. Clay Travis on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. I talked to somebody close to the Alabama program about Ty Simpson. Interesting conversation.
Save it for the other side. I want to hear this.
Yeah.
Have they covered it at covercrimson.com yet?
I don't know.
Maybe you should go put it behind a paywall.
I'll pass it on to Clint. I mean, this is not going to be earth-shattering. I'm just saying you don't hear a whole lot about the kid, and he's stuck around, and it is incredibly rare now.
And from the scrimmage on Saturday to anything coming out, it seems to be check. Positive stuff right there. At covercrimson.com, covercrimson.com. EG joins us coming up at 10:45. The barnauburn.com. She'll be in Auburn tomorrow. The barnauburn.com for behind-the-scene coverage starting at just $1 in the opening month. Give it a try and see what you think about those things. If you're a Bama or an Auburn fan, covercrimson.com and the barnauburn.com. Tell us about Michelson. One more segment before we get to EG.
205-969-8100. That is the number you need to dial. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. They're going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation, 0 to lose, to find out if LASIK is right for you. I'm speaking from experience. I wore the contacts for about a decade. I was wasting money on contacts and solution every single year. I went to see Dr. Mark Michelson. I've got 2015 vision, better than 2020. Stop procrastinating. If you've thought about it, make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100 or michaelsonlaservision.com.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at scottforestertv.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or michaelsonlaservision.com.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Bright Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We continue on the next round. E.G. going to join us in a moment. So
something jumped out though, Clay. Let me ask you guys this, because he's talking about the assembling right now of great young talent and how it'll pan out in the quarterback room. Could you make an argument that Alabama had the greatest quarterback room of all time
when it was Mac Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, and
Bryce Young?
That's pretty good.
Well, did you have? No, you didn't have all those three at the same time. You had Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, and Tua Tagovailoa at the same time.
Those were the three, correct?
All NFL starters.
See, I thought Tua's final season was Bryce's first.
No.
No, that was Mac's first.
Yeah.
Mac's first as a starter.
Yeah,
right.
You had Mac Jones, Jalen Hurts, and Tua Tagovailoa in the quarterback room at the same time.
That's right.
And I would tell you that's probably.
I mean, Oklahoma had some good quarterbacks. I can't keep up with it because of transferring.
You had Carson Palmer, Matt Leinart, and
Matt Castle, right?
Matt Castle.
I don't know if Castle was there at that point.
Yeah, I mean, you've had some good ones over the years. I mean, that's pretty good. I would tell you, Clay's talking about a guy who's supposedly pretty good, who's starting this year. A gap in the 2025 recruiting class and a 2026 guy coming in.
I guess you had
18.8% of all commitments decommit before they get to signing day, and then you stack on that the portal after that. Who knows who will end up playing in today's modern college football?
Yeah,
Tebow and Cam Newton were in the same room.
They were. I point that out frequently. Is before Cam Newton had an unfortunate situation at Florida, Urban Meyer had it set up to go from Tim Tebow to Cam Newton. How good was that going to be?
Well, and you just wonder how much does that change what Alabama and Nick Saban did?
Well, I don't know, because they did beat Tebow his senior year on the way to a national championship, but they played Florida in a home-and-home in 10 and 11, if memory serves, and Cam Newton was supposed to be the quarterback of those teams. I mean, that was going to be a tremendous SEC rivalry moving forward.
John Brantley?
I think John Brantley ended up getting the gig.
A little bit different.
I would say.
Let's see. Sam says current Texas quarterbacks might be good.
Maybe.
Might be. We
need to see what Quinn Ewers is, and we need to see what Arch Manning is.
Yeah, I think Ewers has been a B+ to this point, and we haven't seen Arch.
Yeah, I mean, he has. If you go back and look, he has a bad game. I mean, a bad game or two every year. We'll see what he ends up doing. We'll go check out E.G., what she saw at Alabama's practice in the next segment coming up. Part of the show today being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. They bring you the lock of the day every day.
Yeah, again, 6-1 this past weekend in the NFL preseason. Winning will continue on Thursday. Jump on board. $100 gets you everything. Also, new content coming out on the YouTube channel, winatlanceslog.com. Like, subscribe, share. We would appreciate that. Hemp Hill Services, though, we always appreciate everything they do for us. Trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues. Whether you experience any of these in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Hey, you had a Ty Simpson story you're going to tell us.
And again, I'm not saying I'm about to break any earth-shattering news. In fact, what I'm going to say probably only solidifies what people think about Ty Simpson. But the kid has kind of lived in the shadows a little bit. I mean, think about how much you've seen him play a little bit, obviously, but you don't see him interviewed. I mean,
what's his most famous moment?
Playing in the South Florida game, probably.
It was dropping the ball right at the goal line, right? You remember going in for the touchdown?
Remember, he didn't play the South Florida game.
Yeah, he did. He came in at the end.
Oh, at the end, yeah, but he
didn't start.
Yeah, he was
the best quarterback in that game.
It was the Notre Dame lacrosse player that started.
Yeah, Tyler
right?
Buckner.
Tyler Buckner, yeah.
No, but Simpson going in for the touchdown. You don't remember he dropped it right at the one, almost like Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that jumps out for me about Ty Simpson.
Yeah. So I talked to somebody close to the Alabama program. I'm like, I'm surprised he's still there, and he's like, if you knew him, you wouldn't be. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, he's ultimate. And he says, I know this phrase gets thrown around a lot. Ultimate coach's kid. Because remember, his dad's a high school football coach.
Right.
He goes, kid loves being coached.
But there was no chance that all of those guys were staying in the room.
No, and
nobody
that's what's
leaving?
crazy. Yeah. And he said that what drives Ty Simpson is he looks at this as his opportunity, his best opportunity to win a national championship. And that's what his goal is to win a national championship. He's like, does he want to play in the NFL? Yeah, he wants to play in the NFL. Does he want to be really good? Would he love to win a Heisman? He would love all those things. He said, but he literally chose Alabama because Nick Saban, he thought, was his best path to a national championship.
Miller Moss situation.
Yeah, and he said, this is a guy that literally, he goes, and I know this is pretty rare, he was more than happy to sit and wait his turn behind Jalen Milroe if it meant an opportunity to win a national championship. And he said, not that he thought about transferring. He goes, maybe there were some thoughts. He said, I don't know how deep any talks got. He said, but he scanned the landscape and said, where am I going to go where I got a better shot of winning the national championship than here?
A great Jim Harbaugh quote. Who's got it better than
me? And he's right about that, though. I mean, there's only a handful of places you could transfer where you got a better shot at winning a national championship than Alabama, and there may not be a handful.
Well, and I think that's Carson Beck's situation. You know, if they would have won the national championship, and I don't think a lot of people realize he's in year 5 on campus at Athens.
Yep.
If they would have won the national championship last year, maybe he goes pro.
Yeah. And he said he knows he's going to have 2 good years to start, and that's plenty of time to put film down for the NFL, and he thinks he can win a national championship in one or both of those years.
But what does that do with Dylan Lonergan, Austin Mack?
Well, they got to beat him out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not guaranteed that job once Jalen Milroe leaves.
Yeah.
But I did think it's interesting because this is a guy you don't hear a whole lot from.
Are you ready for your mind-blowing, after the AP poll came out yesterday, your mind-blowing stat of the day comes from our friends at The Athletic. Kirby Smart, if they beat Clemson, and I forget who they play week 2, but it's an easy game. But if they beat Clemson and then they win their week 2 game, they'll be number 1 in the country, and that will put Kirby Smart, after 2 more weeks, 2 more wins, fourth all time in coaching games and winning games as the AP number 1 team in the country.
They play Tennessee Tech week 2, so I'm willing to think he can get there.
Okay, so if they don't get upset by Clemson,
right?
Because currently he has 32 games coached as the number 1 team in the country.
That's 5th all time is 32?
That is currently 5th all time. Yeah.
If
tied
he's
for
gonna be
4th is at 33 is Tom Osborne and Pete Carroll.
Okay, Bud Wilkinson's got to be up there.
Bud Wilkinson is not on
God,
this
they were
list.
undefeated for like 3 straight years.
I know. I don't know why he's not on there, Brown.
Yeah.
Nick Saban has won at 98.
I knew Nick Saban was 1.
Bobby Bowden and Woody Hayes are next with 45. Kirby with 2 wins would get to be 34, and then Pete and Tom at 33. I'll have to go back and check that because Bud Wilkinson's a great call.
I mean, I'll look at Bud Wilkinson, but I mean, they were undefeated for 3 straight years. I'm assuming they were number 1
They played
for a
10
lot of that
games
time.
back then.
Yeah, that'd be 30 games, but still.
Yeah, I'll go check
I'll
that
look at
stat
it right
again.
now, yeah.
That's pretty crazy that Kirby Smart's in that category already as the number 1 team. Now Georgia's been really good as part of the dynasty they are.
What are they, 42-2 the last 3 years, I think, and missing the college football playoff last year, which was a joke. I mean, they were one of the 4 best teams in college football. But if they're able to win a national championship, I mean, they're kind of dodging history. I'm sure you guys saw this. You probably talked about it yesterday with the AP poll out. Only 1 team in like 20-something years has gone wire to wire, and that was Alabama in 17, right?
Yeah, I've got Brett McMurphy sent it out. Alabama's the last team to do it, and then the team that did it. So this is to start
by
the
way,
year
I'm a
number
little
1.
surprised that we don't get this more often.
I agree.
Just because college football, for the most part, is top heavy.
So this is start the year number 1 and eventually win the national championship. You don't even have to stay number 1 all year.
It's
You just
not wire
gotta-
to wire,
That's
right.
right. You just got to start one and finish one. In the past 30 years. Wait a minute. In the past 18 of the last 20. There it is. 18 of the last 20. The last one before Alabama. Jim just mentioned the coach of it. Alabama did it in 2017. They were the last team to start number 1, finish number 1.
It was USC, right?
It was USC in 2004. Those are the last 2 to do it.
And to
In
go
20
wire
seasons.
to wire,
Yeah.
as everyone in the chat room is saying, Jeremy, Florida State went wire to wire in 99.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, going wire to wire, and I know we do that bet every year that Georgia's not going to make it through the regular season unscathed.
Well, this is the most likely year.
And they do every year, including last year. A lot of people forget Georgia was 12-0.
They
and
were.
favored against Alabama and Atlanta, and ultimately lose that game and get bounced out of the playoffs. But if they're just to lose one game along the way, obviously they fall out of the number 1 spot. And to play 3 top 6 teams on the road at Bama, Texas, and Ole Miss, Boy, if they go undefeated this year, they've earned it.
They absolutely have. I don't think they will.
I don't think they will.
But they will have earned it if they do it, because it is as difficult a schedule as Georgia's had in a very long time. I mean, we can turn our nose up at this, but playing Clemson and Georgia Tech out of conference.
Yeah. Georgia Tech's not a bad team.
Georgia Tech's not a bad team, and Clemson's a good team.
Ultimately, we look back at this, I think it could be one of the top 10 most difficult schedules in the history of college football.
I agree with you completely. There are not a lot of breathers in that schedule for Georgia.
Georgia this year could be one of the top 10 in college football history?
Yeah.
Well, Jim, I mean,
if Ohio, let me ask you this. If Michigan has this schedule this year, what's their record?
If Michigan has this schedule, 8-4.
8-4.
Oh, I think 7-5.
Yeah, but you say top 10 history. I mean, I think you can find a couple just this year that are tougher than.
But
right now,
I disagree. As it stands right now, they play 5 top 15 teams. They play a third of the top 15.
Kentucky and Auburn both got votes in the top 25, and they've got both of them on the schedule. And those are kind of the throwaway circle. You've already won these games. A top 15 against Clemson.
Top 15 against Alabama, top 15 against Texas, top 15 against Ole Miss, top 15 against Tennessee. Many of those are going to be top 5 and top 10 games.
Yeah,
but they're all in top 15.
End up being a top 15 team.
By the time they play them, I don't know.
Not by the time they play them.
But Oklahoma and Florida aren't equally as tough. Haven't we talked about that all summer?
No, I think Florida's the toughest schedule I've ever seen. Oklahoma might be the second most difficult. I'm saying now with the expansion of conferences, we're getting some of the more difficult schedules we've ever seen in the history of college football. All I'm saying is we sleep on the Georgia schedule because it's Georgia. Right. If it was anybody else, it would be completely different.
Now that the AP poll is out, we've got a consensus here. Florida plays number 1, 4, 6, 10, 13, 15, 19, and 20.
It's the most difficult schedule
I've
ever.
never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
Never in my life have I seen anything like that.
New York Butcher Shop makes things easy for you. We'll go check out Alabama Camp, EG, out of the viewing period. She'll join us in the next segment. New York Butcher Shop will get you ready for viewing football.
I went there on the way to the mountains, got a couple fillets from Jim. They were phenomenal.
Guess what I had last night from Jim?
What's that?
A little beef tenderloin.
Yes, sir.
Did it on a bed of rice with this special sauce. I mean, there's just so many different great things you can get from the New York Butcher Shop. I ate a bratwurst over the weekend. It wasn't from the New York Butcher Shop, and guess what? It wasn't good.
You could tell, right?
Anything you get from the New York Butcher Shop, stop by, pick up the finest in Angus prime beef steaks, burgers, premium pork chops, all natural chicken cut to order just for you. And don't forget about the huge deli sandwiches and catering options for your next business lunch with a great selection of fine wines and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Cava Heights, Highway 119. New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patted burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
You never know what we're up to here at the Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Heading over to Tuscaloosa as soon as Brownie tells us about boiling and bragging going on again.
Just texting somebody about this right
now.
now?
Were you? Really?
Yeah,
it was almost like I was looking at your phone. No.
You can't read my text. my font. Well, I mean, I've seen yours.
Is that a shot at
That is a shot at your eyesight, absolutely. Yes.
Look at the letters I have to use on my cards here.
Yeah.
No, you can actually tell kind of the age of someone, like if they're next to you with their phone.
Oh, yeah, because of the size of the text.
Yeah, the size of the font, absolutely.
Boiling and bragging, it helps Ultimately Children's Hospital through the Rotary Club. Our friend Will Haver and Odie's, they have done this for a very long time. Rockstar singing the anthem for the 14th year, Rocky?
How long have we got?
11.
2012?
This will be the 12th actual year.
12th anthem. Boiling and Bragging, the letter N.org, boilingandbragging.org. It is coming up this Saturday in Mountain Brook. Great way to start the football season and help a great cause with Children's Hospital. Boilingandbragging.org.
Yeah, look forward to that. Emily Grace McWhorter joins us now live from Tuscaloosa. Two things while Brown was telling us about boiling and bragging in the preview screen. Was it a yellow jacket mosquito that bit your leg? You had to slap it away. And then who walked up and shook your hand there? I tried to figure out the reflection in the background. Was it Nate Oates?
No. It's mosquitoes. I'm getting eaten alive. I guess this is a little spot for them. And then Bill Pryor, federal judge.
Oh, how about that?
Wow. Always good to know one of those.
How do you know Bill Pryor?
Exactly. I don't. He said, I follow you on Twitter. I said, thank you so much. And then gave me a great compliment about my future.
Yeah. Oh, wow. How about that?
His reflection with the blocked by the A, I guess Nate Oates. So I was wrong.
What is a federal judge doing rolling into the Alabama Athletic building?
I don't know. He was strolling out too. Looked like he owned the place. I said, okay, that's.
Of course, they had a baseball coach that was in a little trouble last year. I don't know if you know about that.
All right, so we've got a few things we're going to talk about. I want to talk first with you about the tackles. That's something that's been very interesting to me, especially right tackle. You were in watching Bama practice earlier today. What did you observe? Left tackle, right tackle, that situation.
Yeah, so right when we walked out, it was Caden Proctor at left tackle and then Wilkin Formby at right tackle. It's hard to say. Wilkin Formby at right tackle. So that was the first rotation. And then there was Naquil Bertrand. And I went on to the receivers after that, but that was my initial look. It was Caden Proctor at left and Wilkin Formby at right.
So yesterday, Clint Lamb with us, Lance, I ran through the whole offensive line. I said, stop me when there's a position battle. He let me get all the way to right tackle. Like I started left to right. He let me get all the way to right tackle, saying that Wilkin Formby is probably the only one that's even a position battle right now. So, E.G., what you saw kind of backed that up.
Yeah, it seems like they're rotating, and they all got some good rotation with each other on the O-line with the ones and twos. But like I said, right when I walked out, it was Caden Proctor and Wilkin Formby.
So tell us about Tyler Booker. I think yesterday, fan day, he had jersey on but didn't participate.
Right, so he did not participate in the scrimmage, but I can confirm I did see him out there working. So that's a bright spot. There were some guys on the bikes in black jersey. I won't get into specifics about that. But at this point, we're halfway through fall camp. That's expected, but I did want to make a note that Tyler Booker is back out there.
All right, so you're talking to Kane Womack afterwards, defensive coaches in Kane, or just Kane? Who are we talking to today, E.G.?
So as far as I know, they don't really let us know until about 15 minutes prior to us speaking to them. So I will let you guys know who I'm officially chatting with, but for sure, Coach Womack
And I'm going to ask him about Deontay Lawson. We've talked about how he's kind of the quarterback of the defense, what his role is, how the secondary is progressing, and then his opinion on the scrimmage. But today was a shorter period for practice. Normally we get 4 periods, and today we got 3. And I think that that's probably what to come the rest of camp. We have one more open practice viewing window, and I'm not expecting it to be as long as it has been previously. We're now 3 weeks out from the season, so at this point, I think that they're tightening up things a little bit in Tuscaloosa.
I know you're excited about every one of these stops. You head to Auburn tomorrow, and for those that are watching, tell us what you'll be doing in Auburn tomorrow.
Yeah, so one thing that I've been kind of looking at and keeping track of is the in-helmet communication. And so Auburn will actually have a little seminar focusing on that, as well as some chatting with the defensive coaches as well. So we won't have an open practice, but I hope you guys know how much I enjoy getting to do this. This has been so much fun. I love being able to bring back information to our listeners and viewers, and then seeing people out and about that are such loyal listeners to the next round.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this hit lasted longer than my night at poker last night. I went back to our local at Lunceford's
poker
club last night, and I was 88 and out the gate quick. So EG laughed at me. I left so quick. She was like, "See you, Dunaway. Peace out."
Oh my goodness! No, last night was not my night at the poker table, but I do enjoy that every Monday. And Dunaway, that was the first time our paths crossed in the poker room.
Yeah, I don't go as much as I should. I won the last time. I hate that I went back and finished last.
Yeah, dead last. All right, EG will have all the interviews right there at Next Round Live, Also, covercrimson.com for all your Alabama coverage. Covercrimson.com. First month, just $1 right there. Clint, Lem, Mick, and Stacy Blackwood, all the people with reaction to the practice today there in Tuscaloosa. And then EG will be at Auburn tomorrow with the barnauburn.com. EG, safe travels. We'll look forward to seeing what you get out of Tuscaloosa.
Absolutely. One more thing, guys. There was someone else DJing today. I will get to the bottom of the song choices. Michael Jackson, Billie Jean was my song of practice today. Ooh. And then Get Down on It, I think.
Billie Jean.
Yeah.
Oh, Get Down on It. Get Down on It.
That
Get down on
random old stuff going on out there.
That is. Old playlist.
But I promise you guys, before this is over, I will have a detailed answer as to how they pick these songs and who is in charge of these playlists.
It sounds like Coach DeBoer may have had today's.
I think, or Cedric.
All right, EG, thank you. We'll see you.
Bye, guys.
All right, Emily Grace McWhorter right there in Tuscaloosa on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
Who's saying Get Down on It? Was that Casey and the Sun?
No, I think it was Cool in the Gang.
Cool in the Gang? Get Down on It.
Yeah.
That was a skating song back in the day.
Cool in the Gang?
Yeah.
Cool.
So they did Celebration, Get Down,
Fresh. They did a lot, man.
Yeah.
They weren't. They didn't have as many as the Commodores, but Cool and Gang had a lot of hits.
Yeah.
No,
that's not my genre of music there. But.
Yeah, I just that time of music, it was skating rink to me. Get Down on It was a skating rink song.
Oh yeah.
So it's almost sometimes like you can do like a skate playlist, because we had that 2-hour plus layover. And the gates we were at is that Sweetwater bar. You know, Sweetwater is a beer out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
But we sat in there for like an hour and a half, and it was nothing but skate music.
Skating rink music.
Lisa and the Colt Jam,
there was one
just like random 80s pop.
There was one off. We went to Skate 31 or whatever it was called in Pelham. Push it real good. That was a song.
Do you know the song I can remember being played most at the skating rink? Skate Country and Sax, and the DJ hated you requesting it, but they would always take requests.
MC Hammer.
No, it was Ghostbusters by Ray Parker Jr. because this was when Ghostbusters was out, and I don't know why everybody wanted that song played.
Should have done "Need a New Drug" by Huey Lewis. Better song.
Yeah,
I think same medley.
I think that was back in
Ghostbusters.
Speaking of drugs, that's a rabbit hole I got in yesterday.
Easy now.
No. No, Vanity Fair's got a new article coming out on this drug ring that was going on at the College of Charleston a little less than a decade ago. It is insane.
I've
never heard of this.
Oh, it's crazy. One of the kids got popped in the chest. He's no longer with us.
At College of Charleston?
Yeah, there was like 9 guys really deeply involved in this. And it also gets into the hazing in the fraternities. The hazing was so bad they were waterboarding their pledges.
Dang, that is rough.
You think?
Yeah, I'd say.
Well, anyway, I got that deep rabbit hole yesterday of this different layer of drug war where you could buy Xanax, the powder, on the dark web, and they were getting pill pressers, and they would rent out a house, and they would press thousands of pills and then take them out, sell them on the street for street value.
I mean, it's basically like the Denzel movie. I can't say the name of it right now for some reason, where they were making the
Man on Fire.
No, God, it might be the one where
Free Fall?
American Gangster. I do not know why I can say that. I remember
when they were bringing the heroin in.
All the naked ladies are making their
a little different. I think it was a bunch of fraternity guys that bought the pill presser, and they were able to make the pills and then take them out. And this way you avoid like getting sideways with the cartel. But apparently one of the guys got sideways with the local dealer. He took a couple to the chest. Again, he's no longer with us, but it's fascinating story.
Speaking of Huey Lewis, no way to transition back to this. Did you see he's starring in a mockumentary or a documentary? I don't know. It's basically, they say it's like Curb Your Enthusiasm, but it's about Huey Lewis and he's in it.
Because there's probably that Chris Isaac show.
I remember that.
He's producer and starring in it. Whatever happened to Huey Lewis?
Did Chris Isaac show in the opening or the closing, did it have a rotating stage or bed or something?
I don't remember. I only saw a couple episodes. But Huey Lewis, infamous for having a good time off stage.
Yeah, he was in the, wasn't he in that black book that leaked out? What was it, Heidi Fleiss?
Yeah, I know what Heidi Fleiss is. It was some other groupie. I forgot her name. But, he was in the movie Duets, which was a kind of a karaoke movie.
Yeah.
With Gwyneth Paltrow and Paul Giamatti. He was also in Shortcuts.
Back to the Future?
He was, had a small part in Back to the Future.
I mean, his music was
too darn loud.
Yeah. As Pavlik says in the mybookie.ag chat room, only on the next round can you go from Alabama football to Kool and the Gang to College of Charleston drug cartel to a Huey Lewis in the News mockumentary. That's a transition.
He's a very nice way to say we're all over the place.
Okay, so Jay said Criminal Podcast did an episode about it a few weeks ago. I need to hear that. So Jace,
about the College of Charleston.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's crazy.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I got a friend who just graduated. One of Harper's friends just graduated from there a year ago.
I heard it's a fun place.
And her parents never mentioned that was part of the history of the.
Yeah, hopefully she stayed out of that circle.
The old COC.
I pulled a Dunaway Sunday. I got home late back Sunday, and the golf was still on because of the rain delay, or the weather delay, the hurricane. And
passive aggressive about something?
No, I watched it to the end, and 60 Minutes came on, and we were about to watch something else, but I got sucked into the first 60 minutes. No, Kuchar did not win.
Did I see a replay of something?
No, I'll explain the Kuchar thing in a second.
Yeah, he had the lowest score on Monday.
Yeah, he won the Monday. But 60 Minutes piece came on about these cyber terrorists that shut down Vegas, or shut down the MGM Grand. It's fascinating to watch. And the way our government is having to, like Russia has given safe haven to them. Russia made a deal with these cyber terrorists, like, we'll let you operate in our country as long as you promise not to hurt our country's business. That's basically what they did. So they're like, we'll take that. So they're basically operating out of Russia, and everybody knows about it, and there's nothing really you can do about it.
One of the scariest things going on right now.
Cyber terrorism. It's nuts.
We can do something about it. No longer is it the World Wide Web. We just make it the United States web, and we cut off the rest of the country, the rest of the world.
So then we don't get to find out anything about anything else going on in the world.
The way North Korea has done
we
it.
We can still do that. We'll have we can still have the World Wide Web, but not for important stuff. All right, that's my idea today. Vote for me. Top of the hour here. Show being brought to you by our friends at Precision Sports, getting you back to work after you've gone out and been Jimmy Warrior on the weekend and you've tweaked something, pulled something. There's nothing I can tell you more about precision sports medicine and orthopedics other than the fact that when my daughter got injured recently, that's the first place I called. Skip the ER, skip the family doctor, right to precision sports medicine and orthopedics. LT has done the same thing. Dr. Patterson's helped LT. He's helped me. He's helped our kids. You can have that kind of trust with your provider as well by calling that number, 205-512-3885, 512-3885, or go online to precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Tweaks, pulls, pains, and breaks. They diagnose, they treat, and they rehab until you're back to 100%. Locations from Jasper to Alabaster and all around. Orthopedic care better together. Find your provider today, 205-512-3885 or precisionsportsortho.com/2024.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Excitement awaits at Barber Motorsports Park for the Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. It's a high-octane weekend you won't want to miss. Witness some of the most iconic sports cars like Lamborghini, McLaren, Porsche, and Ferrari battling it out on the track. Enjoy the beer gardens, kids zone, and don't forget to bring your dog for bark at the park on Saturday. The Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets today.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, final hour of the show. We've heard from Steve Shaw, the National Director of Officials for College Football. If you missed that back in our first hour, it's always there for you. And then some breakouts that Forrester and Little T will be sending out on all of our social media platforms. We remind you to go like and subscribe everywhere at Next Round Live, absolutely free on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. You get a ton of information, different stuff on different platforms. So don't think if you're subscribed to one, you're getting everything we send out. There's a flood of stuff that goes out every day. Disrupt the Media is our home site where you can get videos of Cover Crimson and the Barn Auburn. Also, the paid site there for the message board. Try that out for $1. Try it out for a month for just $1. CoverCrimson.com, CoverCrimson.com, and thebarnauburn.com, thebarnauburn.com. Make those your home pages and be part of the family. It's part of the Next Round family now into the team sites there, Cover Crimson and the Barn. Auburn.com. We appreciate those folks. They'll be at the kickoff party, which is Thursday night at Walk-On Stadium Trace. We'll be there at 5 o'clock. First 100 of you there get the commemorative T-shirt, which are in-house now. In fact, Rockstar has been busy rolling them up and folding them, getting ready to hand out to you on Thursday night at Walk-On's Stadium Trace. And we'll have drink specials and a lot more. The Next Round anniversary party, number 4, is our kickoff party after 3 full years of doing this platform. Thursday night, right there at Walk-On's Stadium Trace.
We got the Uber deal again this year too, don't we?
We do, yes. Yeah. So you come out, our friends at Budweiser decide to ride. You come out, you can have you some Bud Lights. You don't have to worry about getting home. You'll get home safely because we will have a QR code for you on site. And anybody that needs a ride out of there safely from Stadium Trace, we will be able to take care of that thanks to our friends at Anheuser-Busch.
There you go.
And they remind you to decide to ride year-round, to go and check that out. So we appreciate the folks at Adams Beverage and Bud Light for being with us, and they'll be a big part of the party coming up. Rowback, you see the sign behind us, promo code TNR20. I got my Rowback shirt on today. Always great for the football season coming up. It's TNR20, 20% off your order there, rowback.com. All right, back to college football we go. Again, that Steve Shaw interview, I love all of our interviews. I was just fascinated hearing him talking about the rules and the communications for this upcoming college football season. Peyton Thorne, I don't want to go kid in a candy shop, but you guys will agree the talent he's looking at when he's scanning the routes being run a little different this year than it was last year.
I mean, there's no doubt that they have upgraded at talent at receiver. It is still, in a lot of ways, potential talent because we haven't seen it on a college football field. But there is still talent.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. And I think also Peyton knows squarely this is his team.
Yeah.
You know, there was a little bit of a quarterback battle last year, and it was uncertain. If I would have asked you guys at this time, you know, does Peyton Manning play in all 12 games? Is he the starter for all 12 games?
Peyton Thorne.
Peyton Thorne, yeah.
They would gladly have taken Peyton Manning.
You think they would take Peyton Manning?
I think they would, yes.
But he knows
the sheriff.
Going into this, you know, barring, a catastrophic injury or something, he's going to be the guy.
Opalaka.
And on top of that, I think you got better receivers. Like Lance said, you know it's your team. And in theory, you're getting better play calling because I think that's one thing Hugh Freeze has at times been an elite level play caller on offense, especially in the pass game.
Yeah. Speaking of all this new receiver talent the guys are talking about, here's Peyton Thorne actually talking about it.
You know, guys like Cam, he's a different type of receiver. Like, you throw him different kind of balls. You know, you don't necessarily have to do things the same way as you do with a guy who might be 5'11", 6 foot, and can't jump and touch the ceiling right here. You know, so Cam, you throw him different balls and let him go play, let him go be him. You know, and then other guys, you work with different things and ball placement and then also timing. Like, there's some routes where you got to bend this off at a certain angle, and it's not always the same angle. So let's get on the same page with that stuff and hitting the guy, you know, in the head with the ball, and then catch and run. So it's been good.
I can't remember. You know, he's talking about Cam Coleman. You got Perry Thompson. You got these kids that have transferred in that already have experience. I can't remember receivers getting this much publicity in an Auburn camp or this much expectation level. I really can't. Was Seth Williams the last one that had this type of talk around him?
Obamanu and Aroma Shadu coming in together.
That's the first one I thought.
I mean,
a
long time ago. Those guys were at least 4-star guys, right? I mean, they were. So
that's a long time ago.
Selma, right?
Yeah.
Aroma Shadu. I'm forgetting where he was from, but when those guys came in together, I mean, they were. Hey, and those guys live up to the hype.
No, they absolutely did. Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking Seth Williams coming out of the Tuscaloosa area. I think Auburn fans had high expectations for him. I don't think they were anywhere close to what they have for Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson.
Nothing like this for whole recruiting class, 4 or 5 deep.
I just can't remember a time where people have been more excited about Auburn receivers.
At the receiver position there. 4 downs in a second. Show this hour being brought to you by our friends at Champy's, world famous fried chicken. And then we're going to have a new commercial that's out. Forrester will tell us what it is, but champy'schicken.com, Highway 119, actually Highway 119 in Alabaster. It's just right off the Highway 31 exit. If you're going to the beach or coming back from the beach, going to the big game or coming back from the big game, or whatever you're doing, if you're in the Alabaster area, it is a destination location. Forrester, can we pull up the picture of Sterling as Mose yesterday? Because LT missed it. Rockstar missed it too. Mose, the character from The Office, Dwight Schrute's brother, right? Mose, or family member, cousin.
Wasn't it? Cousin, yeah.
Sterling dressed up as him at in the last 10 years, Halloween party.
Who was the actor that played him?
Oh, I don't
know. Do you have a picture of him?
Oh, when you see,
Okay.
have you ever seen an episode with Mose in it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh,
let me just.
I've seen
I'm
like
gonna pull it up on mine.
25% of The Office.
Okay, well, hold on, Forrester. Don't show it yet. Rockstar's going to pull up Mose in The Office, the character on the big screen here, and we can put it up for everyone at home. Maybe they haven't seen it either. Yeah, that's Jeb.
Dwight's cousin, Mose. It was played by a guy named Michael Schur, Schur.
Okay, this is him right here.
Yeah.
That's Mose. That one right there.
Yeah, you got it.
I can't get a big picture, but that's
maybe I did see an
Looks like an
episode of this
Amish
guy.
dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you go back, Rockstar, hit the back tab. Go back.
Upper
All right.
left.
Well, I was going to say the one right in the center. Right in the center. It's highlighted right. No. Down. Right there. Yeah. This is going to be your best comparison right there to what Sterling did. Why are they all so small,
I
right
don't
there?
know.
Can you zoom in?
No.
Okay, I'm going to get the.
Blame it on the Russians.
I'll figure it out when you show it to me.
In Jim's World Wide Web, this wouldn't happen.
Yeah, we can zoom in if we wanted to.
In the American Wide Web.
Here is Sterling from Champies. We showed this yesterday, dressed up. Forrester has it for us from the pictures. Oh, he's still pulling it up from yesterday.
Yeah.
Just fantastic stuff. Rockstar, you're still punched up there as you search the internet.
I mean,
was that a word?
Okay, here he is on the left.
Look at
LT.
Sterling on the left as Mose.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's incredible.
And that's Megan, by the way, as Dwight Schrute.
So was it Office Day or something?
It was. They went as Office characters.
Okay.
To a local trivia down there. Pretty amazing costumes there.
Sterling's is spot on.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to discredit Megan because I know but Sterling's is incredible.
Yeah. All right, Forrester's microphone, and he's going to explain to us what we're about to see on the big screen before we get to four downs here. Will Levis, fun part of the show when he was at Kentucky, especially that one summer, right, Forrester, where you had a great time showing us him eating a banana and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, banana, peel and all. Everybody does that, right?
Yeah. Only normal people.
So there was also a video at, I think it might have been at SEC Media Days, of him eating mayonnaise.
Yeah, and he put mayonnaise in his coffee.
That's
I
right.
think.
Yep.
So,
That was it.
So now, is this an actual commercial that's out? Is what we're about to see?
This is a real thing that is actually available for purchase.
Okay, here we go. Hit it, Rockstar. This is Will Levis.
Taking that ball into heaven.
They tried to define you, but you are the ingredient to your own success. Luscious, eggy, smell like greatness. Will Levis, number 8, Parfum de Mayonnaise.
No.
That's not legitimate, right?
It's a cologne that smells like mayonnaise.
Okay, give me Forrester again. Forrester, is this a
there's
spoof
no
or
way,
is it
Scott.
for real?
This is real.
No way, Scott.
You can buy this.
No, I do. A million times I've said it, the best condiment out there is mayonnaise. But I love subliminally, like they show him, because he needs to be on the couch shirtless, eating mayonnaise. But it shows that you can still have a six-pack and eat mayonnaise.
That's true, yeah. According to USA Today, Will Levis Hellman's mayo-scented cologne is a real item.
Okay, you love mayonnaise, LT.
Yep.
Do you like the smell of mayonnaise?
I don't mind the smell of mayonnaise, but I wouldn't want to smell like mayonnaise. Like, this is going to be a great Dirty Santa gift.
$8 to buy it, by the way.
Will Levis, number 8.
Look, here it is on the web.
I mean, I can't really, in my mind, I can't conjure up the smell of mayonnaise.
Oh, I can right now.
Can you?
Buy now.
I ate plenty of it yesterday.
Yep.
But I certainly don't want to smell that way.
No.
Limited time offer, I'm betting.
I haven't used cologne since I was probably 13.
You guys will give me this is a good Dirty Santa gift.
Yeah, absolutely it is, yeah.
Yeah, for the Titan fan in your life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if anybody's ever going to spray themselves before hitting Broadway.
Last time you've used cologne, Lance?
Oh, probably 7th, 8th, 9th grade.
Yeah, I think I'm about 13. You, Dunaway?
I mean, I would say it was a bottle of Polo cologne.
It was Dracar Noir for me.
You know me. I'm like your typical 14-year-old boy. I hit an Axe spray every day. No, I don't. I can't tell you the last time I used cologne. I bet it was polo in the 90s.
All those high school kids wear it now, or whether it's the body.
Oh
Axe.
yeah, the Axe body spray.
JT will spray some on him.
Will he?
Yeah.
My question would be if I'm single and I'm out on Broadway and I'm spraying the mayonnaise cologne on me.
It's not going to be the worst smelling thing on Broadway.
But am I not? What
are you attracting?
Yeah, what
hungry girl?
Yeah,
I've seen.
I'm chumming the water for the hungry girls.
I've seen a lot of hungry girls down there. So
yeah, I'm not saying that her boots are going to be a little bigger than everybody else, but yeah,
you smell like lunch.
These boots are made for eating. All right, 4 Downs every day, brought to you by the great folks at Slice. Do they have a mayonnaise-based pizza?
They do
You know who
not.
used to? California Pizza Kitchen.
Yeah.
They used to. No, I swear,
They did.
CPK
They
had a BLT pizza.
They had a BLT.
And they had mayonnaise mixed in with it.
Yeah, and I've seen cheeseburger pizza before, but I don't know if it ever had mayonnaise on it.
Yeah.
I
love our friends at Slice.
5 locations: Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park. Newest location in Edgewood. Get in to see the Bajalia Brothers local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Better bet: Caleb Williams to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year with the Chicago Bears, or Dallas Turner to win the Defensive Rookie of the Year with the Minnesota Vikings.
Boy, let me tell you, Dallas Turner got that first sack this past weekend. Looks so comfortable. I was really excited for him because my lasting impression of him until he does something great in the NFL was basically retiring from college before the confetti had settled to the Rose Bowl turf after losing to Michigan. He was already telling people before he was in the locker room that he was done. I'm out of here. I think he's going to have a really good career. You know, if you're Terrion Arnold or a cornerback, they can throw away from you. If you're the guy pursuing the quarterback, Dallas Turner's got a chance to be that guy. But Caleb Williams looks special, and he's got a pretty good receiving core there in Chicago. I think Caleb Williams would be my bet here.
I think I would take Caleb Williams.
I would go
because if they make the playoffs, it's going to be because he's as good as advertised.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go Dallas Turner in this one. Now, Caleb Williams is playing the position that you're going to win the Offensive Player of the Year at quarterback. And on the defensive side, to your point, it could go to almost any position. I'm going to go against and go Dallas Turner on this one. No. Again, based it on one preseason game, but he looked awful good.
DJ Moore, they got Keenan Allen, right?
Yep.
In Chicago, they got one other good guy there as well as a receiver. Pretty good tight end. That's some talent there in Chicago for Caleb Williams to throw to.
Second down.
Yesterday's AP Top 25 comes out. If I asked you the best chance of a top 10 having 3 losses, which top 10 would it be for you guys?
Michigan.
For 3 losses? Michigan would be by...
I think we will have multiple top 10 teams with 3 losses preseason.
Michigan, Ole Miss, Alabama in that order.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't eliminate Texas. You know, Lance kind of changed and Texas had another injury at running back yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, how well do you know their depth chart, LT?
Well, I don't know who's behind. I know Jaden Blue is your number 1 right now.
But Christian Clark, how big of a contributor he's going to be? Significant lower body injury.
Well, so it's hard to say because, you know, last year it was Jonathan Brooks, C.J. Baxter, Jaden Blue. So those were really the only 3 backs that got significant time. And now, obviously, Brooks is on to the NFL. Baxter's out for the year. We know Blue's there, but I don't know.
You just made the point the other day, and it's an excellent point. You lose all your top 4 receivers from last year.
5.
Your top 5 receivers from last year. You lose your leading rusher from last year to the NFL, and now his replacement is out for the year. You lost your 2 best defensive linemen to the NFL.
Yeah, studs.
I mean, that is an awful. Yeah.
They disrupted games,
I know.
Man.
That's an awful lot to replace.
Well, I was putting something together, the top 5 games that will determine the 12-team college football playoff field, and I'm starting to circle Oklahoma, Texas. Oklahoma's just owned them lately.
They have.
And everybody's talking about Texas coming into this league, and Oklahoma's going to have a ton of talent. Now, I think Oklahoma's got issues at the end of the season just because the schedule's so difficult.
Will you share that list later in the week?
One game, we can do a segment on whenever you guys want.
Yeah.
One game situation, rivalry game where they've won 4 of 5. Oklahoma, and if Jackson Arnold is that good.
Third down.
Okay, so combination of wins: Alabama, Auburn, or Kansas, Kansas State.
I'm going to say 19 or 20 is probably your answer to this, and I could see either one doing it.
See, I would say right now on the fly, Alabama's 10-2, Auburn is 7-5, maybe 8-4.
See, that gets you to 17 or 18. I think it'd take 19 or 20 to win this.
I think Kansas State.
I think Kansas
State.
20. Yeah, I think they could get to 20. I think both of them could be 10-win teams.
I think you could see a Sunflower State Big 12 championship game.
Yeah. No, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me.
You know, again, I'll point out Kansas does not get a home game. And I know it's not a home field advantage that they have at Lawrence. I'm not suggesting that. But I'm saying that does seem like it would start to catch up with you, playing every single game off campus.
I know that. But follow me on this line of thinking, okay? The drive to Lawrence, Kansas. I don't know exactly how far it is outside of Kansas City.
Yeah, you would know this.
Yeah,
Lawrence to
hour and a half
outside of Kansas City, because I flew into Kansas City. It's about an hour and a half.
About an hour and a half.
Okay,
maybe a little
like
short.
It's like Birmingham to Auburn, right? Birmingham to Auburn. But imagine now if Kansas, which has a small stadium and doesn't really, it's not raucous, but now Kansas City is a big metropolitan area with a lot of KU grads, and now we're going to play home games just down the street, and I can go tailgate and go watch Kansas play. They actually may have a better home field advantage at Arrowhead than they do on campus.
They're playing some of the smaller teams at Children's Mercy Park, which I think is the soccer venue,
which will be even tighter.
Well, but they're only playing Lindenwood and UNLV there. They're playing TCU at Arrowhead, Houston at Arrowhead, Iowa State, and Colorado at Arrowhead. That's their home games at Arrowhead. And then everything else is on the road. At West Virginia, at Arizona State, at Kansas State, at BYU, and at Baylor.
That could catch up with you.
I mean, it just feels like a significant thing for Kansas, right? But even that, I still think they're good enough, especially with Jalen Daniels as quarterback, good enough to go 10-2. I think 20.
Yeah. I would actually feel decent about taking the Kansas State.
I think I would too.
I think I would
the combination of those guys.
Fourth down.
It is National Lefty Day. Rockstar, you're a lefty.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
If I asked you guys the best athlete that was a lefty.
Michael Vick.
Michael Vick's a good one. I mean, Phil Mickelson's in the conversation here.
I mean, I might say Tim Tebow.
I'd go Vick over Tebow.
I know
Tebow was better college. Vick was better NFL.
Yeah, but Tebow also played a little professional baseball, and I know we can dismiss that as much as we want. But
but he made it AAA?
No, he made it AA.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Babe Ruth was a lefty.
I was about to say Babe Ruth hit left-handed. Did he play the field left-handed, or was he a switch hitter?
I think he was a lefty pitching.
Well,
was he? I thought he was a right-hander.
If so, I'm going to go Babe Ruth.
I know he swung it from the left side.
Yeah. Pete Rose was a switch hitter, but he fielded right-handed, threw right-handed.
Yeah, Randy Johnson's a good one.
Okay, according to Wikipedia, Ruth batted left and threw left, so I'm going to change my answer to Babe Ruth.
I think Babe Ruth's a little overrated, though.
Do you now?
I mean,
700.
For his
14
time,
homers. Yeah.
For his
Larry
time,
Bird.
yes.
I never knew Larry Bird was left-handed.
Well, he didn't shoot left-handed, Larry Bird, did he?
I think he did.
Bill Russell, Pele, left-footed.
Zach says Vic, 10,000% better than Tebow.
I
disagree.
I wouldn't go 10,000%.
I mean, as good as Vic was in college, Tebow was that and then some. Now, once you got to the NFL, but hell, I think they won the same amount of postseason games, didn't they?
Keith says Kenny Stabler could drink right-handed and throw left-handed.
Yeah, he could.
At the same time.
Probably did it. Catherine says Will Clark, Will the Thrill, was a lefty.
One of the best swings ever.
Yeah,
good one. Good one, Catherine.
I'm going to stick with Babe Ruth.
Do you have a list of great lefties in front of you, Rockstar?
Yeah, it's from Ranker. I mean, it's just like...
Ranker's fantastic.
You guys even mentioned Oscar De La Hoya or Ronda Rousey or Dale Earnhardt Jr. Did you know he's left-handed?
Yeah, but we all drive left-handed and lean right-handed.
I'm right-handed to drive left-handed.
But it would be more difficult to shift with your left hand being a righty.
Yeah, I call that low riding, though.
Mention who?
Manu Ginobili.
I did not. No.
Barry Bonds, people are saying.
Barry Bonds, Bobby Orr, Wayne Gretzky.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Mm-hmm. Sandy Koufax.
Well, we had Sandy Koufax.
Sandy Koufax. Legend. I mean, pitching wise, that's the best one we've mentioned.
Steve Young, Manny Pacquiao, Lou Gehrig. What did he die from? Deion Sanders. What happened to him?
Prime time.
I guess it just seemed like Deion could use either hand.
Yeah. Deion's left-handed.
And the words of, was it Mike Tyson or who was amphibious?
I'm amphibious.
Yeah. Who was that?
I can't remember.
I've noticed when Deion shuts down local reporters, he does use his left hand. All right. That's 4 Downs brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, get a slice and a salad today. Pick up a couple of pies on your way home. Go see the Bajai Brothers. Tell them the Next Round sent you. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
We got a little NFL breaking news, and it's unfortunate. We were just talking about him in the commercial break. J.J. McCarthy, according to Adam Schefter, is going to undergo knee surgery, and they do not know how long he'll be out this year.
Damn,
He
dude, that is terrible.
He complained about knee soreness over the weekend, had an MRI Monday night, according to Adam Schefter, and they don't know how long he'll be sidelined. They don't know if it's season ending. They don't know until the surgery. So Sam Darnold's your starter in Minnesota now. And McCarthy looks so good.
Is Sam Darnold going to be another Baker Mayfield, different location, and he kind of gets a bump doing that. But just watching JJ this weekend, and again, we go back to going 15-0, and this guy did nothing but win at Michigan and wasn't asked to do a lot of things. He was asked a lot to do over the weekend. Hit a couple of deep passes for touchdowns, had like a 3rd and long where he scrambles for the first down because he's such an athletic guy. But this is that's terrible news.
Yeah, it's awful.
Bad news there, as injuries are part of the game. We'll see what the prognosis is. They're not ruling it out for the entire season yet. All right, quick break here. One more time, don't forget Boiling and Bragging happening this weekend. LT, you're a big part of this event happening on Saturday.
I will be, I don't know about that. I'm kind of traffic cop doing the announcements. Rockstar will be more of the bigger part, performing, doing the national anthem. But it's for an incredible cause. It's a good community event. It really signifies how close we are to college football. And it's an event that me and Rockstar have been a part of since 2013. And a lot of food, a lot of fun, a lot of fellowship. So come join us.
Yeah, Boiling and Bragging. If you had to guess the start time, what's
I would say 6. Is that fair?
I think it's 6 to 8:30, 9 o'clock.
6 to 8:30, 9 o'clock. Great tailgate food. Right in that area where the library is in Odie's. It spills over all that area there. Go check it out this weekend. Our friends with Boiling and Bragging, the $1 Million Tailgate happening this weekend. Trash coming up on the other side. And in our final segment, we'll do all the AP poll reactions. Which top 10 team finishes outside of the top 25? Which unranked team ends up maybe in the top 10? Those conversations still to come. The final half hour of the show right here on TNR.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. I'm here with my good friend Jon Lunceford of Lunceford Furniture to tell you about special values on some super comfortable seating. What you got, John?
Lance, every year we stock up on great comfort items like Lazy Boy recliners and sofas so that our customers can be ready for fall and football. This year is no different. We've made special purchases that will deliver great value to Next Round listeners and give them the most comfortable seat in the house. And as always, we've got the best prices in the state on Lazy Boy and the best selection anywhere.
That's awesome. We all know from years of shopping with you guys that Lunceford Furniture is the home for Lazy Boy value. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Our wonderful friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. I hope Greg's in town so he can make it to the kickoff party Thursday night.
I don't think he's ever missed one.
He has not yet to date, and oftentimes we get to see most of his family.
Yeah, Greg plus maybe as many as 10 or 20.
So we'll try to save him a table for 20 at Walk-On Stadium Trace. But Greg will get on your roof no matter the heat out there. Man, the guy works through the summer, works through the winter. He'll give you that free no-cost roof inspection. You call the numbers on the side of the big black beauty truck right there, 205-542-3531. 542-3531. He's the one and only Greg from Pell City, 20 years locally owned, A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. And the best part I tell you all the time is Greg's the kind of businessman that sort of Rockstar will tell you, I can tell you, friends of mine can tell you, folks in the chat room can tell you, he goes to work for you with the insurance company. Like, he understands the ins and outs of the business. The insurance agents trust him. He's the guy you want in your corner. That's just, it sets him apart from any other roofer in the area. Free no-cost roof inspection. He can handle storm repairs, roof replacements, anything on your roof. But that free no-cost roof inspection is the way to start. 205-542-3531, or just look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City.
I don't know what the outlook is on this, but Kevin O'Connell, the Vikings head coach, has just confirmed it is a torn meniscus.
Ooh.
That's
torn meniscus?
J.J. McCarthy, yeah, torn meniscus.
Is that an MCL? Is that what that is?
No, torn meniscus is your knee.
They can clean it up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one day in and out. I would think torn meniscus, he could be back in a month.
Okay, good.
Okay, so back by week 4.
I am no doctor.
You're
this
not.
would be Dr. Patterson Precision. We could get one of those guys on the phone, but I think a meniscus is not that big of a deal.
All right, Dr. Taylor saying expect J.J. McCarthy back easily by week 5.
Yeah.
But I think this will be another excuse for Kevin O'Connell not to play him, though.
Yeah,
but it's going to be one of those deals. If Sam Darnold's going to have access to a lot of good tools, that's one thing Minnesota's offense has. If Sam Darnold's playing well, even if he does come back healthy, I mean, let's say he's out 5 games and you're 4-1 and Darnold's played pretty well. I mean, you get in that situation like, I know that I like this kid, but I'm 4-1 and my quarterback's playing pretty well. I'm not going to do that now.
It's a great opportunity for Sam Darnold.
Oh, absolutely it is.
Thanks to our friends at Coca-Cola being part of the show. Great experiences with Coca-Cola. You hear about them all the time in our commercial breaks. So whether it's with the Atlanta Braves or here locally, thank you, Coca-Cola, for sponsoring our show. Coke Zero on this end, Diet Coke on the other end, and Trash Time right now in the middle. Brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right Rockstar. The big button, please.
Yesterday was a little self-inflicted where I pried out that front control panel and cut them wires. They was kind of touching each other, shorting out the brain in the boat, and I didn't have no dash work, and I was back there hot wiring live wells, and it was my own fault.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Our friends at Mortgage Right want to remind you, if you're looking for a new home, Mortgage Right is here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer or seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and low rates make the process easy. And speaking of veterans, they were veteran-founded right here in Birmingham. So remember, whether you're looking for your final home or first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com, or call Birmingham office 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, equal housing lender. A YouTuber was arrested on Sunday after video of him preparing and consuming peacock curry went viral on the internet.
It sounds awful.
Now, the video faced massive backlash on social media with people accusing the YouTuber Kodam Pranay Kumar of promoting illegal wildlife consumption. Kumar is now facing charges under the Wildlife Protection Act. As you guys probably know, the national bird of India is the peacock. It is protected, and its hunting and killing are strictly prohibited. Now, the video titled Traditional Peacock Curry Recipe was taken down from Kumar's YouTube channel following the controversy.
I mean, how bad does that meat look?
It looks horrible. It's a long bone, though.
Yeah, a lot of bone in that.
What do you think Kumar's breast smells like?
Oh, after a little peacock?
No.
Kumar, you got that. You got that peacock breath, Kumar.
You got peacock breath, Rockstar.
Yeah, hold that pee.
Forest Department arrested the YouTuber, inspected the area where he cooked the peacock curry, and shot the video. Forest officials also collected Kumar's blood samples and the portions of the curry and sent them for testing. According to police, action would be taken if the tests turn out to be positive for peacock meat. Boy, that would be a bad way to go to prison, wouldn't it?
Would be. What you in for?
Peacock curry.
Peacock curry.
What'd you say?
Well, I mean, like for, obviously like, sex offenders that go in, I think they get treated a little differently. Do you think in India, if you eat the national bird, you get treated differently?
Probably. I mean, this is, again, like if somebody did
cooked NBC.
If somebody did a YouTube video, deep fried bald eagle, I mean, that's our national bird, right?
Oh, there'd be some
I think there'd be some blowback on that. Yeah, I can see it.
I don't know if you guys saw the video today. We were talking about the Mike Greenberg talking about the greatest shot in history of basketball.
Still absurd.
Still the most asinine thing I've seen on TV.
So one of the guys that jumps on Get Up is ESPN NFL reporter Jeff Darlington.
Yeah.
So this weekend he goes to the bathroom. And
good for him.
He has a reptilian situation, as you can see right there.
What did you?
That looks like my old iguana Rex back in the day. So Darlington took
wait, time out. 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I've been with you for 15
we've
years.
Talked about Rex.
You had Rex iguana?
Yeah, I had senior year of high school, freshman year of college.
We've talked about this.
I think I remember. I remembered the story ending that one of the Flint boys killed him.
No.
Okay,
no.
Is that not true?
Rockstar, we've talked about his iguana on the air before. I don't remember.
I could not remember.
I know Rockstar had a ferret.
Well, you didn't remember the name, but you remember me having an iguana.
Yeah.
Waste of a pet.
They're a great pet. When they stare.
Awful, mean as a snake. Anyway, Darlington took to Twitter to share this awkward experience, revealing his toilets hadn't been flushing as they normally would at home. He was unaware as to why until the iguana popped up, which appears right there in the toilet. Now, he said it tried to go back where it came from, so Jeff had to quickly grab it by the tail and pull it out.
Oh.
I find these stories hard to believe. Like, how does that come out of the piping?
Well, iguanas fall out of the sky sometimes in South Florida.
And they land in sewer?
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
You talking about rain?
No, they fall out of the trees, iguanas do. Is it temperature related or something like that? I can't remember what causes it.
They
get so cold that they
freeze, yeah.
They drop
or
and they
gravity.
Fall out.
Well, gravity does play a part in it.
I would say,
Would you grab it back by the tail, or you just let it go down?
Well, first of all, if I'm a media personality on ESPN, I don't go into this big of a detail about what's going on in my toilet. That'd be the first thing I would tell him if I was his agent. Jeff, we don't want anybody thinking about you and the toilet ever. It's bad for your Q rating. There's a chance there's a pipe somewhere that has a hole in it, right?
No, I just think they get down in the water. They end up, in the wrong pipe. They just think they're chasing food.
I don't understand this because there has been smaller things that have clogged the toilet than this iguana.
Yeah.
Like, if you flush that, do you think there's any way that thing goes down without it clogging the toilet?
No.
No, it's going to clog it.
Push that head with the broom.
I think he was coming upstream.
Yeah, he's looking for oxygen. That's what he's doing.
Is there
in daylight?
Is there a good chance that maybe?
God, what do you think that iguana smells like?
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Especially if it ate peacock.
Is there a good chance Marcus and Booger were just playing a trick on him?
Good.
Watch this. We're gonna put this iguana in his toilet.
How about all I could think of when Lance said, "What's he smell like?" is Morgan Freeman saying that iguana crawled through 500 yards of the foulest smelling human 5 football fields.
A lot of blow, and I'm just reading directly here, blew onto a Florida beach Monday thanks to Hurricane Debbie. Storm blew 25 packages, some 70 pounds, onto a beach in the Florida Keys. According to the U.S. Border Patrol, Samuel Briggs, the acting chief patrol agent of the U.S. Border Patrol Miami sector, posted on Twitter that a good Samaritan discovered the drugs and contacted authorities. Quote, U.S. Border Patrol seized the drugs, which have a street value of over $1 million, Briggs posted. Debbie slammed into Florida as a Cat 1 hurricane near the Big Bend before being downgraded to a tropical storm. I'd be a little nervous about, I guess fentanyl maybe gets put in the cocaine once it gets stateside. But, like, you get fentanyl blown in your eyes, that'd be a problem, right?
Absolutely. Good Samaritan found 30 bags and turned 25 of them in.
So you think this is just because a lot of times if they see the Coast Guard coming or whatever, they just throw it overboard. So, I mean, it's better
tossing it.
Yeah, it's better to lose the shipment than everybody, in your chain get busted.
Well, I mean, if you can, you circle back around and pick it up.
Right.
Rumor has you can circle back around and pick it up out of the water. Yeah.
Like, I think if I'm a good Samaritan, I'm keep walking.
Yeah,
like,
I'm with you.
I don't think there's any good situation. Like, if you turn in, that's got to be cartel logoed right there, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like, would you look at those packages and think, you know what that is? It's cocaine. I mean, I don't know what I would think it is.
If I was on a beach, yeah.
You would think so immediately?
Yeah. And I would just keep walking.
I'm with you. I'd just keep going.
Yeah, it'd be like something of old men. I wouldn't touch it. What was the name of that movie I'm supposed to watch?
No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men.
Something of old men.
Something we just ran out of time.
Okay, finally, list of the TV networks with the best programming ranked by content consumers. Is modern television better than film?
Is this all time?
Think it is. Movie stars stepping down from the silver screen to star in award-winning TV shows. Which channels have the best of the bunch? Got the top 10 according to Ranker.com. Number 10, Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime's got some good, but it's got a little cheese to it.
Well, I'll tell you what I hate about Amazon Prime, and we're a subscriber. That some things I can click on it and I get to watch it at the level I'm subscribed to.
The other time you got to rent and buy.
And then I watch the first episode, and then the second one I've got to pay for it. I'm like, what's happening here? I feel like I'm at the platinum level. Apparently, I'm not.
Well, but they don't have rights to everything.
I guess that's what it is, Brown.
Well, I mean, it is.
It's a frustrating thing.
Well, I know. I completely understand. But
you're right. Then I have to go find it on Netflix or Hulu or something else.
So like FX, we're watching The Americans right now. That's all on Hulu, commercial free.
But you got to go through Disney to actually get the Hulu.
Well, it's all part of Disney. Disney, Hulu, and ESPN Plus if you want the whole package.
Like bundle. Yesterday, traveling back, and the second season starts September 16th. But, on Delta, you got your little screen and you can pick your thing. So me and Jack caught up, or we actually went back and watched the first 3 episodes of Tulsa King. And it's Paramount Plus, but it's under the Amazon Prime umbrella.
Yeah.
You guys watched Tulsa King, did you?
I have not. No.
Did not know.
Oh, you guys, I forgot how good of a show. It's Stallone's best role since Rocky.
But it's on CBS now.
Have they cleaned it up? I'm sure they've cleaned it up. Yeah, it's very violent, and the profanity is next level.
Yeah.
But you guys would like it. It's really good. Number 9 on this list, top 10 TV networks with the best shows from Ranker.com, CBS. I didn't know CBS still had shows.
When I'm watching
Blue Bloods,
NCIS and
CBS and
CSI.
Paramount, same thing.
Yeah, but when I'm watching the NFL game, I'll tell you the one they promote the heck out of, Rockstar, is that Neighborhood, The Neighborhood, I think it is.
Oh, yeah.
With, Cedric the Entertainer?
I think it's already canceled.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah. Queen Latifah, The Equalizer.
Yeah, they promote that too.
Yeah.
I find out what CBS and Fox have on primetime during the NFL season. That's when I know.
Yeah.
Number 8 on the list, Disney Plus.
That's good for the kids.
I never watch anything on Disney.
Yeah, it's good.
If you like Star Wars, what I have noticed, and Lunceford, and I'm sure Tyler and Melton can all jump in, but they have like shows I've never even heard of that are Star Wars based. Like they have like legitimately like 25, 30 Star Wars shows.
Yeah.
Did they
almost like a universe of stuff?
Yeah, almost.
So the oh god, what's the little Yoda? Grogu? Is that the Yoda's name?
Grogu.
It's little Yoda.
Damn, you're way too close on that.
Yeah, I was. I thought I knew it. He got his own, but he's got his own
That's the Mandalorian
series. Oh, is it? So it's part of that?
I watched an episode of The Mandalorian. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's all. Got to go to this planet to fix this, and I'll give you a key. And you got to go to this planet to get the key.
Number 7 on the list, Fox.
Again, during the NFL season, I can tell you what they're showing right now, not so much.
I would think they'd probably lean on Simpsons, though. Would that be their alpha?
I don't know.
I guess so. They do a lot of news, though. Like Fox 6, Hardison, they work him to death, man. He's got news on all the freaking time.
4.
They do it all day. Yeah.
All the way to 6:30.
Yeah. And then they come back at 9 o'clock.
10:30.
Like, what is Fox even doing?
Yeah.
Number 6, Hulu.
Big fan.
I've enjoyed Hulu. I think it's worth the money.
I either get all this over the air or I stream them all, buddy. Go. What's next?
Number 5, NBC.
NBC. I still own Peacock.
I don't know what they're showing right now.
I thought I canceled Peacock, but all of a sudden I had 32 different platforms to watch every Olympic event live on Peacock, including the Gold Zone.
You got Peacock.
So apparently I'm still
These next 4 are really good. And by the way, Apple Plus is not on here, and I think Apple Plus has done a good job. They've got a new one with Vince Vaughn starting this week called Bad Monkey.
Bad Monkey. We talked about it yesterday.
The trailer didn't look good, though. Like, I'm going to give it a shot, but...
And Eddie Vedder has a song on the call. Doing the Tom Petty song, room at the top.
Okay, so
number
real quickly,
4.
Your favorite Vince Vaughn? We did this yesterday. Your favorite Vince Vaughn role?
It was probably Swingers back in the day.
Swingers.
Interesting. That never even got mentioned. Yeah.
I mean, he's had a lot of good roles.
He has, yeah. What did y'all go with?
The most popular answer was Wedding Crashers, yeah.
But, Old School and...
no Jurassic Park 2?
Yeah, that did not come up.
What was it, The Breakup?
Psycho.
I asked if he was good in the serious role in True Detective 2.
I thought he was.
Oh, yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
He was the bright spot of season 2, I thought. Anyway, number 4, FX. FX, back in the day, they were groundbreaking with The Shield.
Yeah. The Shield, The Americans.
They've done some really good programming.
Yeah.
Number 3 on this list, AMC.
That's Breaking Bad.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead is their biggest.
But it's also Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah.
And then also, was it not Don Draper?
Yeah, Mad
Men. I mean, that's a pretty good lineup right there. Thank you.
Hey, by the way, I don't know what service it's on, but Scandalous Women.
It's on any service, Jim.
I think it's probably ID.
Starts this week. It's the Mad Men of publishing, based in the 60s, and it's based on women who tried to start with their own magazine. And the men were...
There you go.
Men dribbled out of
You're going to try to start a magazine?
Get back in the kitchen!
Yeah. But apparently it's sort of filmed and based the way Mad Men was. I don't know if it's from the creators
they
of
can
Mad Men.
recreate that. I came across one the other day that I was like, if Dunaway ever knows about this show, he is 100% in. It is The Sex Lives of College Girls is what it's called.
Oh, my God.
Both years. I've already seen it. Both years.
Is it
I don't even know what network it's on.
Is it dramatic or is it...
It's
real college
a dramedy.
girls?
It's a dramedy
okay.
with a lot of sex.
Yeah, well, it's right there in the name.
Both seasons. New season of Emily in Paris drops on the 15th.
Number 2 on this is Netflix. I think that is Emily in Paris, right?
Yep.
Netflix has got
How's this not number
slew.
1? Yeah.
Well, because I think number 1 is the OG when it comes to it, and that's HBO.
Oh, HBO Max. Yeah.
I mean, HBO back from Tales of the Crypt days and Dream On and Larry Sanders Show. I mean,
First and 10.
Yeah, the HBO has done it right for a long time.
Yeah.
So I got no problem with
the
that.
news.
Really good.
Hey, it's buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. They were veteran founded here in Birmingham and offer loans throughout the country. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. There is no cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. MortgageRight.com, 205-900-7200.
And also by our friends at Champy's, world famous fried chicken. Go by and see Sterling today, tonight, this weekend. Your tailgate office parties at Deep Southern Fried Chicken, brined overnight, cooked to order. Hand cut chicken fingers, tremendous. Makes his own ranch right there. Cooks his own desserts right there. Mississippi Delta recipe tamales right there. It's on 119 in Alabaster. It's champyschicken.com.
Follow LT on Twitter at thelancetaylor.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention The Next Round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Hang out with The Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
Excitement awaits at Barber Motorsports Park for the Fanatec GT World Challenge America. September 6th through the 8th. It's a high-octane weekend you won't want to miss. Witness some of the most iconic sports cars like Lamborghini, McLaren, Porsche, and Ferrari battling it out on the track. Enjoy the beer gardens, kids zone, and don't forget to bring your dog for bark at the park on Saturday. The Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets today.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Final segment, all on the AP poll, brought to you by our friends at Hemphill. Since the 1950s, just a few years after the AP poll started, the name Birmingham has trusted has been Hemphill Services.
Yeah, 205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. They are going to take care of you, whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business. They are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train, hemphillservices.com.
Okay, Brown has mentioned this, and so has LT a couple of times throughout the show. We've mentioned it throughout the offseason. We mentioned it every year. But there's a couple of things that happens all the time lately. Which team that is in the top 10 ends up falling all the way out of the top 25. It's happened
18 of the last 20.
18 of the last 20.
I think it will happen again this year.
You do think it'll happen again.
A lot of years we do this exercise. We're like, I just don't think it's going to be this year, and we're wrong every year. So I'm glad you started it the other way.
I've said it this year. Yeah. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's starting it the other way.
It's going to be hard. Look, this could be a complete whiff. I just think Florida State. Now they're going to have to lose one of these games they shouldn't.
Well, that's kind of how you end up out of the top 25.
Do you think Florida State can fall all the way out of the top 25?
Well, I mean, if I'm just trying to pull one of the top, now of course they're number 10 too.
Next Saturday they're playing Georgia Tech neutral sites. You don't anticipate having them any issue there, right?
No, but if they do, then watch out.
Well, if they do, yeah, you're going to be right.
Well, just because I think you've got a tricky out-of-conference game with Memphis coming up. Now, the game's in Tallahassee, so that's good news. But then 2 weeks later, you go to SMU. Then you follow that up with Clemson the next week. You got to go to Miami. You got to go to Notre Dame. And you've got Florida at the end of the year, which is a rivalry game.
In the mybookie.ag promo code next round, chat room Morgan, Florida State, Landmine Believer, Michigan, RTD4, Michigan or Ole Miss, Volfan 205, Penn State, Nick, Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is going to be a common answer because you're not used to seeing the helmet.
Okay, so last Wednesday, a guy came up, and I don't know if we talked about this on the show or not, but he came up and he said, hey, what is the number that would get Lane Kiffin fired?
Oh, my gosh.
This year.
A guy asked you that just out in public?
I meant to say, 18 or 19 as in reference to something else.
That's right. That's right.
Because there's not really a number that can get him fired. But I would say this, man, if you're an Ole Miss fan, I mean, it is playoff or bust, and especially with the schedule. If they were to fall out of the top 25, that would probably take, wouldn't you think with their, 4 losses, 8-4 might get them out, but probably 7-5. I don't think you can find 4 or 5 losses on their schedule.
Yeah, it would take 7 and 5, I think, to get them out of the top 25. And the answer may be a 1.8 on a breathalyzer or something.
Wow.
Like that.
I don't think that would get him fired.
Yeah.
That might kill him, a 1.8, though. That's a lot, isn't it?
Another thing
is
a team that's unranked moving into the top 10.
That's happened every year for 30 years with the lone exception, according to Brett McMurphy, our buddy with the Action Network. 2011 and the COVID year of 2020 is the only time in the last 30 years a team has not gone from unranked to the top 10. So 28 of the last 30 years it's happened.
We're going to see it out of the ACC this year.
I knew who Lance was going to say. I was about to give you the others receiving votes, and I knew already who Lance was going to say.
It's going to be one of 2 teams.
So others receiving votes, here will be your candidates. Washington is 26. Louisville is 27.
I mean, Louisville could be one of those teams, but that's not the team I'm talking about.
You were going to say this team. 28 is Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech or the next team you're going to say.
SMU is 29. You like Memphis too. They're 30. I just don't know that they play a good enough schedule to get in the top 10.
Yeah, I don't. I would say Virginia Tech or SMU based on their schedules and based on what they've got coming.
Boise State 31, Auburn 32. Yeah. If you're buying Auburn to be good, that would be your play there.
I just think Auburn good is 8-4, and that doesn't get you in the top 10.
It does not. I'm not even sure 9-3 would.
I mean,
we looked last year. It took 10 wins to get in the top 10.
Can I just mention real quickly, most returning production in college football, according to Bill Conley.
It's got to be Virginia Tech.
Iowa State.
Okay.
Iowa State's buried a little bit. So I said Auburn's 32, 33, 34, 35, 36 is Iowa State.
Rocco back was good last year at quarterback.
But if you end up 10-2, playing for the Big 12, winning the Big 12, that could get you into the top 10.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
The only problem I've got with Iowa State is their schedule, because I think the Big 12 is going to be really good this year.
Chaos.
And then you've got Iowa State's got to play in Iowa City week 2. That's their out of conference. They've got to go to Houston and out of conference. And in conference, they've got to go to West Virginia, to Kansas, to Utah. They've still got Kansas State at the end of the season. They've got UCF mixed in there. That schedule to me, I 10-2 is what it would take, and I can't find 10 wins with Iowa State.
Two ships that can meet in the night for you are Memphis and Florida State. You think Florida State might go from 10th to unranked. As you mentioned, they play Memphis at Doak Campbell Stadium. That would be bad news for Memphis because that's the only ranked team they would play all year. So if Florida State sucks, they could go 12-0 and not even have a top 25 win.
Don't see that upset, but we saw Jack State pull the upset there not long ago.
We did indeed, right there in that same stadium.
All right. That's our show today. Forrester, everything else we didn't get to, we'll push it till tomorrow. Thursday, by the way. Looking forward to Thursday night. Stadium Trace walk-ons. First 100 of you there gets a T-shirt. You don't need a ticket. Just show up, right? Just show up. Walk-ons, and we'll have a good time. Bud Lights and great food and everything. Stadium Trace walk-ons. Come hang out. 5 o'clock until the party's over. And again, our friends at Adams Beverage and Bud Light. Free Uber gets you home safely. Until next time, God bless you. God bless America.